Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami Fort Lauderdale presents The Neil Rogers Show. To talk to Neil, call 567-0560, toll free for David Broward, or pound 560 on your cell phone. The opinions of Neil, his guests, callers, or anyone else on the show do not necessarily reflect those of WQAM, Beasley Reed Acquisitions, or the Beasley Broadcast Group. Now, Neil Rogers on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
It's Monday.
Oi!
Oh God, Friday seems so far away. Here I'm trapped in this office to stay. I feel like crap, 'cause it's Monday.
I was a little too stuffed, had to lose a few pounds. Pants too tight, seams busting out. Just had a big burrito with beef and rice. Salsa on top with some extra spice. Lots of extra spice. Up there in the bathroom where the air gets heavy. Sat on a cold seat, thought I was ready. Working out crosswords and reading the news. Working on a bowel move. Trying to move some back up drive-through food. Working on a bowel move. And it was taking time. Up last night trying to make some thunder. How long would it take? I sat and wondered. Started reading a magazine from 1962. Yet I'm waiting on a bowel move. 'Cause I'm all bound up from cheese that's turned to glue. Praying for a bowel move. Out of paper again. Bowel move. Ain't it funny how it takes so much time? Yeah. For a bowel move. I wanna remember. I should have brought my camera.
At Wannabe Broadcasting, 560 WQAM. So anyway, I must thank everybody for the 4,000 books that I have on irritable bowel syndrome, which is also known, by the way, as spastic colon. How come this overhead is so screwed up? How come it's so low? Oh, there you go.
I don't know.
Assholes keep coming in here, potching around with the goddamn settings on everything. You think that might be the reason?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But at any rate, I don't even want to talk about the technical stuff in this studio. You can't complain about the technical expertise of the Beasleys because they don't have any. Because they're a bunch of cheap, what's that F word? With an S at the end. 60 billion books I have about irritable bowel syndrome. And one of the things that I've discovered, besides the fact it's also called spastic colon, I'm going to refer to myself as Spastic Neil from now on.
Oh, God!
Right. One of the things I'm discovering is that one of the main reasons, besides diet and some specific foods that occasionally can flare up your kishkis, is chronic stress. Chronic stress.
Oh, my God.
Huh? Do I have stress in my house?
No.
With my dogs?
No.
Huh? Outside of this building?
No.
Where do you think that stress might be coming from? You don't think it could be from the Grizzlies, do you?
Uh-huh.
And Greg Reed, that lying piece of turd. But before we get into that, here's there's that beeping again. Yeah, we got all kinds of beeping and popping. Let's take a call here. I said we'd go for phoneless today, but we won't. Oh, listen to that. They're right off the bat. Here's line one. You hear that sound? See, I'm gonna take calls. I was gonna go do no phones today, but because of the fact that technically everything is so screwed up in here, I thought let's go ahead and give it a shot and see how the phone sounds. Listen to that one right off the bat. That's line 1. Woo! Heavy duty, baby. And the last caller made me want to cry, because I wasn't listening, and I usually don't listen. I don't have time to posture around with that morning show. But the last call with Danny and Danny again, are we still on that crap? Jesus Christ! See, that's what's so goddamn frustrating about this town, along with all the other crap. Talk about a horse and buggy. One note Charlie's, like I said on Friday. Same old tired rap. And the one big story, forget about Elian, forget about the Danny boy. The most positive, exciting thing going on in this town is the Panthers. And David J. Neal at Sportser and the Herald, which, by the way, I noticed that this morning, the Sun-Sentinel writes their hockey stuff on page 13, and the Herald is on page 12, and don't even mention that the Panthers exist. That game on Saturday, now the first period was kind of slow, even though we had that beautiful goal with the, instead of Danny and Jimmy, they ought to be doing Bure and Whitney and Whitney and Bure. That's what everybody ought to be talking about. But David J. Neal takes Hank to task in Saturday's Herald, in the fish wrapper, because Hank was talking about it. First of all, Hank would be the first one to admit to you he doesn't know squat about hockey. He would tell you that, but I heard him with my very own ears on Friday saying that that's the only sports thing going on in this town that's worth anybody even thinking about now, and it's phenomenal, and how come they're not selling it out? We had our biggest crowd of the year Saturday. Did we sell it out?
No.
700 empty seats, unsold tickets. Not bad, but it's an improvement. I mean, here's something so great going on, and David J. Neal, I hate to break the news to you, you can knock Hank all you want, but where was your story about correcting Goldberg? It was on page 12, the same place that the rest of the goddamn story about the Panthers' big win in overtime against the Bruins Saturday was in yesterday's fish wrapper. Page 12, buried. So if you wonder, you see, this is the way it's always been here. They got their own agenda in our local newspapers. Whatever they like, whatever they care about, whatever they know about, that's what they'll promote. And anything that they don't really have any vested interest in promoting, they'll bury it, as in page 12. How come there's no big color picture of Pavel Bure scoring the winning goal in overtime on the front page of the sports section yesterday in the goddamn Herald, huh? And the rest of this town, there's no hope. And I don't have any delusions that I'm going to change anybody's opinion. But you know something? I don't give a crap. It's like food. It's like, fish food. I know how good that stuff tastes. If you'd rather have vanilla ice cream, fine. Leaves more of the good stuff for the rest of us. But please don't try to insult me and tell me that the vanilla ice cream is better because there's more people who eat it. There's more people who eat at McDonald's, too, than Ruth Chris, but I got news for you, okay? Is it a close contest?
No.
No. You want a good piece of meat, you don't go to McDonald's. And there's nothing like a good piece of meat. God. Here is something so great, so sensational going on in this town, and instead, Danny and the players want to buy Danny and Danny. How can there be so many stupid, myopic little people in one place? And Hank didn't just, he said it years ago. Of course, he heard me say it first, but nevertheless, we've both been saying for years, this is a Bush League town. That's why they don't fill up the stadiums and the arenas. They keep spending taxpayers' money to build them, but they don't fill it up. No matter what. Even when the prices weren't outrageous, they still weren't filling them up. This is a phantom existence, this place. This isn't reality. It's phantom. It's make-believe. It's la-la land. And you finally get something good and great and exciting going on, and, and nobody even knows what the hell you're talking about. Nobody has any idea what I'm talking about. Because the media here, well, they got their own, like I said, agenda. They're more concerned about Elian this and Elian that. Elian just farted and didn't smell too good, and grandma did this, and grandma said that, and the other grandma. Who gives a crap? Except those silly people out there the other night with their goddamn rotting teeth. Boy, you dentists in town. I understand Hank's got a little tooth problem this morning. He's not going to be doing the show in Atlanta today. He's going to be in the studio, and then in Atlanta the rest of the week, hopefully, for the Super Bowl. But the dentist in this town, you ought to be right down there in Little Havana. You can make a fortune. Because you talk about bad teeth. Even the British are laughing. They're embarrassed by the scene that they saw out there. All those old fossils with their goddamn yellow teeth rotting out of their mouths. Seriously, it looked like a scene from some backwoods place in Mexico is what that looked like to me. It did. That's exactly what it looked like. Like some old fishing village in Mexico. Oh, we're sick and tired of it, okay? Those of us with a brain. I'm not going to let my life get dragged down by this crap in this town. I'm not going to have a spastic colon the rest of my life because of Greg Reed or because of a bunch of crazy old Cubanos who all they know is the same old tired Schmidt. Doesn't affect my life in any way, shape, or form. Couldn't care less. No interest. Sorry. To the baby Jesus or the baby Moses. Now he's the baby Moses. Oh, yeah. The sea parted. How do you spell that?
No portion of this broadcast may be reproduced without the express written permission
No!
of the QAM Beasley Reed Acquisition Corp.
Holy cow, Aaron's coming.
Squirt.
Don't you love Bill Bradley? Don't we need Bill Bradley?
Yeah.
He's more than 6 feet tall. Plays pro basketball. Don't you love Bill Bradley? Yeah, we need him badly.
Yeah.
He's gonna win the race. People love him 'cause he isn't Albert Gore. Did I mention that he isn't Albert Gore? He played for the Knicks. He doesn't for us six. Yeah, we love him 'cause he isn't Albert Gore. Not Al Gore. Not Al Gore. Not Al Gore. Yeah, he's not Al Gore. I'll say it one time more. We love Bill a lot. Mostly 'cause he's not boring Albert Gore. Well, don't you love Bill Bradley?
Not really.
Don't you love Bill
10:15 at 560 WQM. I don't know what they're wasting all their time with these primaries because we already know it's going to be Bush and Gore, and it'll be closer than most people think, but Bush will still probably win because Gore is boring. And that's it. Although I will say this, if Bush keeps moving further and further to the right and keeps embracing all these right-wing anti-abortion hysterical, you know the people I'm talking about, those people, exactly, could be pretty interesting. And, you know, when you come right down to it, to show you how stupid this whole system is and why nobody anywhere outside of Iowa and New Hampshire cares, because what does Iowa and New Hampshire have to do with anything anyway? Is Iowa representative of the rest of the country? Is New Hampshire with those crusty, they're like one step away from those crusty Maine people, you know? Do they represent anything?
No.
No. Two little piddly-ass states. What's the combined population? About 500 people in those two states, something like that, and a whole bunch of cows in Iowa? And a lot of corn. I think Defoe would like it there. There's a lot of corn there. He could relate to it. But, God, what a pile of Schmidt. Oh, the Iowa caucuses. And you see how the caucuses work, where they go to libraries and each other's homes, and the people who are in favor of this candidate, they sit over here against the wall, and the ones who are in favor of the other candidate, they sit like over by the fireplace, and the ones who are on the side, they sit around in a big circle and have a circle jerk. And, that's true. They move to a different part of the room depending on which candidate they be for. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a vote for Alan Keyes. Self-hating spook. Oh, aren't you impressed with Alan Keyes?
No.
No, I'm not. He's a black Gary Bauer, that's all. He's a black Papa Bauer, only he's still alive, and that's the sad part. He's a piece of crap. Oh, Christ, and this, and liberty, and libertad. If I have to hear that one more goddamn time from a bunch of crazy old Cubans with bad teeth, I am so sick and nauseated with the yellow teeth rotting out of their festering mouths. Get out of here. Go back where you came from, okay? Go give the hell to Fidel. Get out of our face and take the baby Moses Jesus with you. Let us live our goddamn lives in peace. Here's a mobile in Boca. Hello? Mobile in Boca is gone, okay? Here's Pompano. Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
How to do is take Elian back and drop you off in Key West.
Yeah, okay, great. Here's Davey. Hello? You see why I said on Friday I wasn't going to take any calls today? Here's Davey.
Hi. Neil, I just wanted to let you know that I'm listening to your show on the computer at school right now.
Yes, sir.
And we have a substitute. I've always wanted to call you in. And we love your show, and I just wanted to let you know what the Broward County schools are getting into because they're just not doing good right now.
Yeah.
And and all the teachers are terrible, and
Yeah.
all the teachers are terrible, and that our teacher doesn't teach. And but right now he's taking a day off to play golf, and we're not learning a damn thing.
Yeah, what you learn what a great time it is when he's playing golf.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's
okay.
just slacking off.
Okay, pal, go back in, like you said, whack off and have a great day. Oh, God. Woo! Heavy duty, baby. What did I tell you on Friday? But I'm just doing the phone thing for an exercise. Because I want to make sure, like line 7. Line 7 wasn't doing too good here on Friday last time I checked. Now when you, please, look at that. And then the beeping is starting in, and line 7 sounds to me like it's got some real problems there again, doesn't it? Doesn't it sound like, what? It doesn't? No. Sounds okay to you? Yes. Are you sure? What is it? Oh, there it goes. Yeah, it sounds to me like it's, there's a little problem on it. 5670560, pound 560 on the, we're talking about spastic colon today to a lot of spastic people out there. And like I said, I don't even know what I bang my head against the wall for. I should just come here and play Indian melodies every day and just take the check and run. Because this place is oblivious. It's unbelievable to me. Just a bunch of one-dimensional lunkheads live in this town. 90% of them. That's all they know is the same old repetitive crap over and over again. And when something good happens here, does anybody talk about it? No, it's Elian this and Elian that. And I'm going to tell you, Channel 7 News, I'm going to program that out of my TV set, Channel 7. I don't need that goddamn channel. I'm just programming it right out. Matter of fact, there's a big thing in the Sun Sentinel right on the front page. Satellite service making waves, cable TV firms encountering formidable rival, which I've been telling you about for a long time, but they're finally catching on. Now that you got your local affiliates on there on the satellite, people are saying to the cable. And they're discovering there's 8 million other channels they can watch instead of your stupid local channels and instead of those crazy people hyperventilating on Channel 7. Every time somebody farts over there in Little Havana, but they're sitting there, floating around, and of course most of them over there float around anyway outside the building. But that's beside the point. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. You got one great sensational thing going on sports-wise in this town, and that's Pavel and Ray and the Whitney and Bure and the Panthers. Unbelievable. Sensational. And these people, like I told you before, if you took a picture of Pavel Bure, even in uniform, and you walked around in the malls, and you said, who is this? You know what they would say? You know what the response would be? Yeah, exactly. Lazy, one-dimensional. Well, we don't know nothing about that. That's just not our thing, you know. We're just, all we know is Danny and Danny and Danny and Danny. Yeah, that's why it's such a goddamn boring town, man. This is the most pathetic, dreadful, boring-ass place on the face of the earth. Even that little fishing village in Mexico, wherever those people with the bad teeth came from, even that's probably more exciting. At least somebody's probably getting laid there. Here's a lady in Delray Beach. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
Friday you had a conversation about a Dr. Sarno for a back. I was driving and I was unable. No?
About what?
About Dr. Sarno who handles backs. Somebody went to him for their back and they said he was marvelous and I didn't have a pen handy.
Yeah.
I was driving. Would you still have that name and a number or something?
No.
Nothing?
No.
Oh. All right. Do you know if he was in Miami or?
No.
No, he's in New York.
Dr. Sarno was in New York?
Uh-huh.
Well, that takes care of that.
Yeah.
Sorry. Have a good day, Neil. Go
too.
Panthers.
Okay.
And go Danny.
And go Danny. Go soon. Okay. Go Elian. Go home. Elian, go home. Neil, you had this doctor on, and he was talking about colitis and about twisted kishkis, and then we had Twisted Sister on. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. You know, I enjoy that the best. I'm going back to those good old days with the geriatric guests. Let's get a lot of doctors on and nutritionists. Hello, doctor. I got a blue rectum. What do I do, doctor? My toilet bowl is blue around the edge and it ain't from the tidy bowl man, doctor. What a boring goddamn place. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Yeah, you got me, Neil?
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you, I'm a good American. I love my country. But if those politicians in Washington vote to make this kid a citizen, it's a disgraceful day in our country when 600
Sir,
people...
well, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Why are you worried about that little boy? What do you care about?
Well, I just think
Why are you concerned about it? Why are you wasting your energy? Why are you getting agitated about it? You sound agitated about it to me, sir.
Yellow-teeth people can intimidate this whole country. That's what I've said.
No, they're not intimidating the whole country. They're only intimidating a few people here in South Florida.
I hope so, Neil. I hope so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Calm down.
All right.
Okay. You'll feel a lot better. This guy, he's going to have IBS any second now. You can smell it. Yeah, I think he's already got irritable spastic colon. Getting all upset about these crazy... Like I tried to tell you, sir, please take my advice. You'll live a lot longer. Don't get stressed out by assholes. Don't you understand, sir, what I'm telling you? It'll take years off your life. You can tell in the tone in his voice. He's all whipped up into a frenzy. He's pissed off and fired up. Just say, Pavel, or Whitney and Bure, and Bure and Whitney. That's all you need to say. Seriously. Bure and Whitney, Whitney and Bure. There's something exciting going on. Something we can be enthused about. Instead of getting dragged down, they drag you down to their level. And I'm not going to get dragged down to that level. They can take that little kid and stuff him up their ass. I don't give a crap about Elian, about that Jap, distant cousin, Mary Lisis, whatever her name is, with that Jappy attitude of hers. And you guys out there, all you Anglo guys and Schwarzers too, don't hang out with no Cuban chicks, okay? I'll tell you that right now. Bunch of little valley girls, the most disgusting, obnoxious, imperious, even more arrogant than the Jamaican women. How do you like that?
Yeah, man.
And that's saying a lot. I never thought I could say that, but I just did. And it rolled right off my tongue, and the words too. Arrogant, obnoxious, disgusting. Jappy, valley girlish. That's for you, Mary Lisis, and your big, fat, disgusting mouth.
Pap, 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 pap. Oh, he's drinking all this milk.
Great. I bet you they got cows in Cuba, too, honey. Yeah, I bet you they got a few cows over there, and they probably look better than you, sweetheart. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. You got Bure and Whitney and Bure. Excitement going on in the Mac Arena. A sensational evening there Saturday. Well, probably the only exciting thing that's happened in this town in ages. And do any of these people know anything about it?
No.
No. Oh, is he back on that hockey crap again, man? Is he on that crap again? Yeah, I'm on that crap, and by the way, I feel pretty good today, in spite of the fact coming in here this morning and finding out all the lights were out. We had to go flip circuit breakers and stand on our head. We're still flipping things in here. We got little noise makers going off in the background. We got the inside phone don't work. The outside phone, some of it works, some of it doesn't. But am I going to let that make my colon twist?
No.
You bet your sweet ass I'm not. Because Greg Reed and the Wanna Beasleys, they're not worth getting yourself sick over. I'll tell you that right now. And just knowing, I'm glad I spent all that money on those tests. Just knowing that I don't have some gigantic or even little teeny tiny tumor growing inside my aging body, it's kind of like worth the peace of mind spending that money when you got it.
No.
Yes, it is. 26 past 10 at 560 WQM. We're whipped up to a frenzy today, baby. All you old Cubans, Bafangula, up your ass. Goodbye. Screw you. Go away.
The Panthers host the red-hot New Jersey Battle of Division Leaders Wednesday night. Join the new voice of the Panthers, Chicks McDonald. He scored! Randy Moeller for the action. Panthers preview starts at 7 here on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Floridians, dumb as dirt.
We're the guys who did that song about the girls of summer. And someone bet us that we couldn't do a song that was done. I like to kiss my bike with a soccer rest. Quiet down, Johnny Bench. I eat eggs sitting on one leg. It's the summer, yeah, it's summer. A bike sweat at Abercrombie bench. Yeah. Rumors make me itch. We did a song that is dumber. We were dumber. I scratched my butt with a nail file. Hate linoleum like ceramic tile. People always sit on banana peels. Monty Hall said, let's make a deal. I wear contact lenses underneath my eyelids. That's totally rather don't know trick up a kiss. Don't get bit by a dog if you think it has rabies. Every Thanksgiving eat lots of yummy gravy. Just the other day I got a canker sore. Do you think Bill Bradley can beat Al Gore? I sing the first rhyme that comes to my head. I'm a big fan of Right Said Fred. I send emails on my brand new computer. People who drive to work are commuters. The other white meat is better known as pork. Singing this song makes me sound like a dork. I People made us up, tell me more out my list. They believe that it's a hit. Smoke the bummer, well, I wrote this song, so it's dumber, a lot dumber. Almost forgot to say I would probably a bitch. Did they say it was a real cinch? In the song, that's much more dumber.
10:32 at 560 WQM. So I'm sitting there minding my own business, enjoying the hockey game, and it comes to the end of the first period Saturday night at the Mac Arena. And over to me comes this guy, which I know I'd seen him before, and I saw him a year ago, which wasn't long enough ago. And this guy has something to do with, like, I don't know, some make-believe radio station he works for or wanted to work for or once did or something like that. A guy would say, like, I don't know, 38, 48, whatever the hell he is. And the guy comes up to me, and of course, once he starts talking, I remember the experience I had last year, exactly the same. He comes, and this is between periods. It's on half of the people are out there getting, on their cell phones and getting food and doing whatever. So it's not like real crowded and noisy in there. And he comes up to me and stands 3 inches away. You know, it's a disgrace that your engineer can't figure, you shouldn't have to work with that. And he's screaming into my ear. And the people who sit in front of me are looking around like, giving me a look like, Jesus Christ, how can you tolerate that? You know, that chief engineer of yours, Greg Reed isn't going to fire himself, so he should fire that goddamn engineer. And I'm thinking, yeah, you got a point with that, but I'm not deaf. And don't ever come anywhere near me again, you crazy person, you. How come I'm such a nice guy? You know, how come I don't say, get the F out of here, you crazy person. You're screaming in my ear. You're bursting my ear. I'm not exaggerating. He was standing like 3 inches away. Remember those films of Edison, you know? Say goodbye. Say good with a big horn, you know, because he was deaf as a bat. My hearing is very good, okay? You got it? You crazy person? Just shouting into my ear. Well, it was my one visit for the year. I can see you again next year. No, I don't think so. No, because if I see you coming, all of a sudden nature will be calling. I have to make a quick move, even if I just do it in the hallway out there, just to get away from you. You crazy person, you. Here's a mobile in Boynton Beach. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry about that. Just a couple of things. I was at a Panther game over in Tampa Bay and over in Atlanta, and let me tell you, there's a lot of fans up there. I don't know if they have a better following out of the area or in the area.
Meaning, what does that mean?
Well, basically, they had tons of fans over in Tampa Bay. Maybe just all the Floridians basically just go up north and start watching the games up there.
Well, how many are you talking about? Maybe a couple thousand.
No, I'm talking the Tampa Bay arena had, I'd say about a third of it was Florida Panther fans.
Yeah, I doubt that.
No, believe it or not. It was,
okay.
And again, it might have been during
so 3,000. A third of it, they're only getting 9,000, 10,000 people actually showing up in the seats.
Actually, I only had 7,000 that game. It was
so like I said, 2,000.
Good point.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I got another part for you. When I was over in Tampa, I heard you talking about, not Tampa, Fort Myers, the Elian story or the family story in New Times. I cannot find that article anywhere. Is there any way you might have an extra copy of that?
No, I don't have an extra copy, but it's on page 7. It's the January 20th to 26th New Times. I got it right in front of me here.
You do have it. What page is it?
Huh?
What page is it? Page 7?
Page 7. No, page,
right.
Page 7. I got it right here. Metro, a family portrait.
Oh, beautiful. I appreciate
it. Meet Luis and Jose Cid, Elian Gonzalez's Miami cousin. Just a couple of good old-fashioned American criminals. You'll love it.
Oh, thanks. Hey, listen, I appreciate your show. You're on the roll today, buddy.
Okay, have a great day, pal.
Bye.
And go Pavel Bure and Whitney and Whitney and Bure and Bure and Whitney and Whitney and Bure. Ba, 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 ba. That's what you ought to be screaming about instead of this tired old stale stuff. I'd rather hear about Elian than about Danny and Jimmy, and I'd rather croak than hear about Elian again. How do you like that? I'd rather have twisting, oozing bowel movements than hear about goddamn Elian and Grandma and Papacita and Mamacita and El Cid and all this other crap. I'd rather hear about Cid Caesar than El Cid. Don't you folks understand it, especially you crazy people in the local media? The majority of us are gagging on this crap already. We're gagging on it. That's right. We're ready to barf all over your goddamn newspapers and TV news. We don't care. It doesn't affect our lives. It's small potatoes. It's meaningless. There's 80 million little kids out there. Their kids getting beaten and raped and abused by their parents, by their uncles and stepfathers, and all other kind of. Does anybody care about them?
No.
Is anybody making a big fuss about them?
No.
No. Because they didn't float up here on a rubber raft. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT. Don't take it personal, Elian, unless you want to. Just go home. Soon. Go home. Bye-bye. See that big plane in the sky? Hop on. And by the way, speaking of Chris Moore, that moron, Rumor has it, I heard from several people at the game Saturday.
Moron.
Yeah. Who was in town to do the game on ESPN? That Boog Shabby, our own big fat Boog Shabby, had him on a show the other night and was sucking his ass on the air. Oh, yeah. This place is so full of suckholes, this radio station, these sports nerds, it's pathetic. Christina Moore, which, by the way, they announced, they made a special announcement, they put them up on the screen, mostly booze, very little response, a little smattering, and mostly booze. Guy that did the game here for 6 years in his own pathetic way, the worst ever, plus being an asshole. It's one thing if you're bad at what you do, but if you're a nice guy, then it's a different story. But if you're bad at what you do, plus you're a real vindictive, miserable prick like he is. And I also hear part of the conversation was about, well, you know, some of the broadcasters in this town were ripping Brian Murray and wanting to get his ass fired. Of course, obviously reference to me. But then I find out that Chris Moore off the air, the two-faced prick that he is, was more critical of Brian Murray than what I was. See, I'm not an ass sucker. Like I said Friday, if somebody does a good job, I'll give them all the credit in the world. If they do a crappy job, I'll rip their ass. And in the case of the Murrays, that's exactly what I did. I call them as I see them. I don't sit around and suck ass and be a shill like he did on that morning show. And these morning guys still don't have any self-respect about that. They still suck up to him. Very sad. Finding people with any self-respect, with any goddamn balls in this town is like looking for a needle in a haystack. Got to get a search party. Sucky, 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 sucky. That's all they know, man. Just get that tongue out there and lick in any direction you can. Even the bookster. My brother. 22 before 11 at 560 WQM.
Only one South Florida radio station has the
Hey, stupid!
You're listening to it at Goldberg. Weekday afternoons at 2. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
That fanny is so large, I don't think he has ever seen the Buttmaster machine in his life.
She roamed an ancient mythical land, wearing body armor, taking names, and kicking butt.
Take that, evil killer!
But in the quiet moments, alone at camp, she was plagued by anxiety.
Oh, jeez. What if that guy had friends and they come after me? Oh, what if I run out of provisions out here? Oh, what if I'm typecast as a lesbian?
Xena, warrior princess. She knew how to handle a frontal attack at dawn by a bunch of heathens in fake fur with Australian accents.
Gabrielle, watch this light! Doctor, take the high ground!
But Xena, warrior princess, couldn't handle a panic attack at midnight by a bunch of nagging doubts.
Oh, my outfit doesn't fit right since the baby. Oh, I think I'm starting to walk like a girl. Oh, no! Now even I think I'm a lesbian!
Xena, warrior princess, right after some other show whose time you can never remember.
Oh, God, I hope we don't get canceled.
1042 at 560 WQM, 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Whitney and Bure and Whitney. Here's a fax that really boils my ass. Neil, I'm tired of people complaining there's no support for the Panthers. I love hockey. I play hockey. I love the Panthers. I live 10 minutes from the Inter Center, but they priced me out, and I make over $70K. Okay? A lower bowl seat is $67. I will not sit in Panther Pack or upper level. Throw in parking and refreshments, and it's easily $100 a night. I can afford maybe 2 games a year. What a shame. Well, let me say this to you. I'm sick and tired of hearing that because, first of all, the games, almost all of them except 1 or 2, are on television for free. So if you can only afford to go once or twice a year, I do understand that. But you think that there'd be enough different people to go who'd be anxious, who'd be lined up at the door to see the display that's going on there, and especially Pavel Bure. Just like when I came back last year from vacation in Europe and I read about the news, I saw it in USA Today or on CNN or whatever, the Florida Panthers make the trade with Vancouver to get Pavel Bure, and I'm like squeezing myself, I'm so excited. And I come back here and I come on the air, and you know what the response is? Yeah. And I'm not talking about having to pay to go see it. You can see it for free on television and be enthused about it and talk about it and get excited about it. Is this town enthused?
No.
Are they talking about it?
No,
it's the same old boring swill, the same Schmidt. Let's face it, folks, most of you are boring, terminal, narrow, little lives, just in like an amoeba, just inside a little tiny hole.
Rectum.
Yeah, that one. God, got to expand your horizons sooner or later. And you have to branch out, just like they say in a ragu spot. You got to try new things. Will these people try new things? No, they're one-dimensional. Horse and buggy effing town. 56705, and of course my job to sit here and try to rattle these people every goddamn day, 5 days a week of my life, and get them off their ass. Look at that. Look at how pathetic that is. Weak. We got scintillating crap going on in this town, and maybe 1% of you even know what the hell I'm talking about. Well, Whitney and Bure. What's that? Eli Whitney, he invented it. What did he invent? The goddamn toaster, didn't he? Yeah, the pop-up toaster for your goddamn Pop-Tarts. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Somebody needs to light a fire under your asses out there. That's why those old Cubans run this town, because the rest of you are in a coma. That's the problem. Yeah. They got all the politicians by the purse strings because the rest of you people are in a coma somewhere. And let a few hundred assholes destroy this whole town. Chase everybody out of here. The Latin Grammys, the Pan Am Games, the Junior Pan Am Games, anybody with a brain, are they coming here? No. Because they don't want to have a whole scene in the middle of the street every time they try to do something that a few hundred assholes don't like. And the rest of the public here sits back on their haunches and just, exactly, with their hand firmly squeezed around it, hoping something might happen. Here's a mobile in Lauderhill. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Maybe can help me with a couple of hockey questions. The current Stanley Cup champions, the Dallas Stars, they were originally the Minnesota North Stars. Is that correct?
Yes.
When did they become Dallas, approximately?
Oh, I don't know, a few years ago. I don't remember what the year was, 91, something like that.
It definitely was not in the 70s.
Of course not.
No. Early 80s, possible?
No.
I didn't think so.
Early 90s.
That's what I thought. So they would have left Minnesota somewhere in...
Well, what difference does it make?
Oh, just a little...
93. The year is 93. I'm looking in David J. Schwartz's. I was close. 93.
All right.
Well, what difference does it make?
Makes no difference to me whatsoever.
So then why are you asking me the question?
Because I knew you know the answer.
Okay. See, there's another brilliant call. It makes no difference to him, but why? I knew you'd know the answer. Does anybody out there care about that?
No.
Is it interesting?
No.
No. Does it have anything to do with what I'm talking about?
No.
No. Is it a real hockey question?
No.
It's not even a real anything question. Sir, you're an idiot. You're another moron. You're another no-life trying to have a conversation about something you know nothing about. 567-0560, pound 560. I'm serious. I'm going to get, now that I feel, you notice I got my energy back, now that I got my IBS under control, and I do. Most of it is stress, and then also the eating. And don't ask me, by the way, what I think about the Atkins diet. No, I got a new book, but I don't want to talk too much about it until, 2 or 3 days isn't enough to really evaluate. But I got me a new book. Atkins works great for some people. If it works for you, more power to you. Does it work for me?
No.
No. And it sure doesn't work for my gut. All that meat and cheese and meat, it just, does it work for me?
No.
No way. Fiber, baby. Low fat, but high fiber. That's, in fact, it's called even Larry King likes the book, which is why I almost didn't buy it.
Only $50.
Yeah, he endorsed it on the front cover. And I thought, boy, if he likes it, it must be a bogus. But so far, a couple of days, I lost a couple of pounds. I'm feeling good. I got rid of most of my symptoms here. It's called the 20 Fat, 30 Fiber. I can't think of the name of it. I'll bring it in tomorrow. And it makes sense to me. Of course, the problem is you get all these books, and in one book they say, oh, yeah, all these grains and everything, prehistoric man didn't eat all of that stuff. And then you get another book, and say, oh, yeah, this is where it's really at, because you got to have the fiber to sweep all that crap through and keep your innards clean, etc. All I know is that my innards are beautiful right now. They are so clean. Oh, I'm serious. You could take a search party up and through there, and they'd say, oh, this even smells good in here. This is lovely. I'm telling you, with all the cleaning out I've had the last couple of weeks, when in doubt, clean it out. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Neil?
Great.
Hey, how's it going? Listen, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You were saying how come, people don't stand up to the Cubans and all that. Well, I got a proposition.
Yeah.
Why don't you ask your listeners if somebody will vote for somebody who's not Cuban in Miami? You think that'll work?
Meaning what? What does that mean?
Well, meaning that we need somebody to unite everybody, the blacks, the non-Cubans,
who's that going to be?
You know?
Who's that going to be?
Well,
Ralph
we need a
Redneck
candidate.
is dead. Huh?
We need a candidate. Any
okay.
takers?
Well, when you find one, call me back and let me know. Give me a name, okay? Give me a name. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. How about Joe Gersten? Let's bring him back. What do you say, huh? You want to bring Joe back?
No.
From wherever the hell he ran off with all that money?
Australia.
And how about, what's his name? Let's bring Kevin Stevenson from the Rangers. He's got a little crack problem. He'd fit in here perfect. Little hooker problem, little crack problem. Let's bring his ass in here. What do you say? He's also got a little bit of a booze problem that goes way back. Poor Kevin. Here's a mobile on the alley. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
Listen, I got to tell you.
Kevin Stevens from Cat Stevens. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you've been saying a lot of stuff I agree with. How you get away with it, I don't know. But it's
Well, what do you mean how I get away with it? Telling the truth?
Well,
what does that mean?
Neil, you do tell the truth, but it's not politically correct.
I'm not interested in politically correct. People who want to be politically correct are assholes. I'm not interested in those people. I have no time for that.
Because I'm not either. But I got to tell you, can you do something about these Dolphins? I hate to bring it up, but I got to tell you, we got a team here that's like
5-6. Can I do something about these Dolphins?
Right now.
Yeah. You know what that reminds me of? It's like a guy at the hockey game that I'm sitting there minding my own business, and this guy who sits several seats down in front in my row, he comes up, hey, you got to tell Brian Murray to get rid of that Mike Wilson. You got to do me a favor. Like first of all, I'm running the team, and like Brian Murray's going to listen to me like I have regular chats with him all the time.
Uh-huh. You don't?
No, I don't. You got to do that. No, I don't got it, and I'm not gonna. And I happen to agree with his assessment of Mike Wilson's play, but nevertheless, get away from me, okay? I'm just there to watch the game and enjoy it. I'm not there to do a goddamn talk show. Just get away and don't come up to my ear and start shouting. That guy, I'm not exaggerating. He was screaming into my ear. Like I was deaf, like I was absolutely deaf, and he was hoping I could just hear the tones of whatever he was saying. Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Neil. Last Friday afternoon, I climbed back in the car to only catch the last 2 minutes of your last caller. He was talking about some kind of book about the
birds and the bees. Yeah.
No. The back. You know, he had some.
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Out of town, it's 877-785. I'm not doing a doctor's show, okay? Not interested in that about some book that some schmuck was talking about. I don't care. I don't know. Go see a chiropractor. Go stand on your head. Go see the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. Get some good drugs. Just don't bother me with that crap. We're not talking about backs. We're talking about bowels on this show, okay? You better get your body parts straight, pal. Now, I will admit that your rectum is on the bottom of your back, so maybe the hip bone connected to the rectum bone, something like that. Jesus. You know, and not only that, ask George those kind of questions. Don't wait for like 15 minutes to come on here and ask me some stupid thing about some bogus quack doctor.
No, don't ask me.
Yeah, ask George. He won't tell you anyway. He'll slam the phone right down. But at least then we won't have to kill the time on the air. Well, he don't know. I think the guy's name was Dr. Dunn. Hey, Dr. Dunn, I have blue lips. Yeah, you're done. A place for the sick and the infirm and the old and the dying and the crotchety and the nasty and the unhappy and the wretched and the miserable. That's South Florida. Not a place for living and breathing people. A place where even when you're an old fart like me at the age of 57, I feel like a teenager because I'm so goddamn young compared to most of the people I see out there, including those people with the bad teeth in Little Havana with the yellow teeth and the purple skin. Here's a mobile in Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes,
How
sir.
you doing?
Okay.
Listen, I think now we're really in trouble. I was just driving down Sheridan and I see a sign for an election. Pepe Lopez.
Pepe?
Pepe Lopez is running for commissioner
Vote for Pepe
Broward.
in Broward. Oh, that's good.
For Hollywood. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Now they're taking over Broward.
Hey, don't you understand Pembroke Pines? Those say no habla inglés in Pembroke Pines.
Yeah, that's true. I hear you. Listen, great show, buddy.
Okay. Vote for Pepe, man. What do you say? You're going to vote for Pepe? 567-0560, and don't call George and ask him any questions. I'm telling you, I'm watching him right now.
I got called back 3 times.
Yeah, again? Saying what?
I really wanted to know the name of that. Why did you cut me off?
We don't know. We don't know, sir.
We don't know. We don't care.
We don't care. We care about that doctor as much as I care about Elian, as in not.
My back's great. How about yours?
My back is sensational. I had a wonderful night's sleep last night, and now my front's starting to even out. My stomach's starting to feel good. My kishkis are untwisted. In spite of this place, because I made up my mind I'm not going to let Greg Reed and the Wanna Beasleys put me into a premature grave. 567. When you people want to talk about stuff that's interesting, that's amusing, that's provocative, that's something, not these stupid, we're going to Vegas in a couple of days, and we'd like to know, is there a restaurant you can recommend? The answer is no. How about one where they sell food? That sounds good to me. You know, every time I get a call like that, I put myself in a position of being a listener, and I think to myself, as a listener, is that interesting, amusing, entertaining, worthwhile listening to? That's even worse than Danny and Danny and Danny and Danny. Is how terminal that is. You go somewhere and you walk outside and you look around and you smell the fresh air, you sniff the daffodils. When in doubt, you check it out. Instead of calling on a talk show and asking some boring-ass terminal question, well, I'm going to Amsterdam. Well, what cafe do you think where's a good place to get some weed in? Well, what's a good place to get some goddamn... And where's a good place to get some fries on the dam rack there where they put that mayonnaise on it? How about in your...
Rectum.
That would be a good place. Fry this. Well, I'm really full of it today. I am. I got some energy back because I'm getting over my IBS, at least the BS part. If you want to get rid of IBS, in fact, I'm going to write a book. I don't even know anything about it. I'm writing a book. If you want to get rid of IBS, just eliminate the BS first, and then all of a sudden the rest will go away. Yeah, that's right. Stress, chronic stress from assholes around you who are trying desperately to destroy your life. Like Greg Reed, the most incompetent human being I've ever encountered in my life, bar none. He makes Fat Boy look like a rocket scientist. Pally, here's a mobile in Jupiter. Hello.
Yes, sir. You're full of pitch and vinegar today, boy.
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are, and you're right. This is such a Schmidt town. They got a bona fide superstar down there, and all they want to talk about on these so-called sports shows is Dan Marino.
This and Danny that, and the players think he can play till he's 85 and and get him out there in a wheelchair and give him some good protection and let him heave it. I'm heaving just from hearing those calls.
Unbelievable. It makes me sick to my stomach.
I don't get one call on this show. Here was this, I don't know if you saw the game on Saturday, but here was this unbelievable game.
I did.
This performance by Bure, and he's skating around and mesmerizing the other guys and frustrating them. He's putting on a performance. There is nobody in the world like this man, and we got him right here in this town, and these people don't know him from goddamn Pavlov's dog.
He's the best, and not only that, but he's a gentleman. He's humble. He just got it all. The guy's so exciting, it's amazing, and these people don't know Schmidt.
Right.
Thanks, Neil.
Okay. And Ray Whitney tells me Pavel's hung like a moose, too, so by the way, he's got it all. 567-0560, pound. Look at this. Let's get all these lines smoking here today. Let's hear something interesting and exciting. Let's see some goddamn people that got an IQ bigger than their goddamn thumbnail, that are excited and enthused about something good going on and not just all dragged down by this Elian crap. I'm not interested in grandma number 1, grandma number 2, uncle number 1. Not interested in any of them, okay, those goyim. I don't care. They have no bearing on my life whatsoever. And I got news for it. If they want to come in the middle of my neighborhood and stand in the middle of the road, I got 2 real fast Corvettes, okay? And I think the brakes are starting to go on both of them. So if you want to come and try to block off my street, I know some guys that'll come and pick up the goddamn pieces.
This is 560 QAM, the sports leader. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by New F***ing Clean, the all-purpose cleaner. See this shirt? It's fucking clean. How nasty is this carpet stain? Well, just drop down to your knees, use a little bit of elbow grease, and fucking clean it. Yes, you can fucking clean anything. Fucking clean your dog. Fucking clean your silverware. Fucking clean your car. Fucking clean everything you own. Get fucking clean today. Come visit one of our 8 fucking clean stores, or look us up on the web at fuckingclean.com and fucking clean it up.
It's 11 o'clock at 560 WQM. We got Hank coming along in the studio today with his bad tooth and all because his trip to Atlanta has been postponed one day because of his tooth thing. And then we got Big Fat Boogle, maybe Boogle kiss Chris Moore's ass out of here again tonight between 6 and 7. We got Connecticut Huskies and the Syracuse Orangemen. We got college basketball tonight at 7. And then we got Josh Darrow, Clarence on after the game and Eddie K at 10 o'clock. A star-studded lineup, whether David J. Neal likes it or not. And by the way, David J. Neal, who the hell are you pointing fingers, like I said, when your newspaper buries the coverage on page 12 yesterday morning? What a disgrace. What? And I understand that he doesn't have any control over that, but nevertheless, what a goddamn disgrace. You got one thing that's outstanding, that's scintillating, that's spectacular, that's unbelievable going on in this town, sports or otherwise, and they bury it because they just don't give a crap. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Here's a mobile in Hypoluxo. Hello.
Good morning, Neil.
Yes, sir. Buenos dias.
Buenos dias. Hey, it's good to hear you talking about hockey. I guess you were saving it until we get mid-season. You didn't want to get yourself wore out. I don't know.
What do you mean I was saving it?
Well, we didn't hardly talk about hockey. I mean, for the whole year. Now, you know, we're finally talking about it a little bit. But
well, what do you mean we? I'm not getting any hockey calls here.
Well, you got one now. So before you get riled out and cut me off, what is wrong with Niedermeyer? Why are we paying him
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. See, that's exactly what I'm saying. Team is winning and winning and winning and winning. They're 14 points ahead of the second place Capitals in their division. They're not only going to make the playoffs, but who the hell knows? They got a shot. That's right. They got a shot. Sour negative. Sir, why don't you move to goddamn Cemetery Village? You may sound a little bit young, but I think you're ready. Bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch. And I'm supposed to be Mr. Negativity. I'm Mr. Happiness, okay? I feel great today. I enjoyed that game tremendously on Saturday. I'm sitting there biting my nails watching the Washington-Toronto score. They're behind. They're ahead. That's tied. I'll take it. They score with a half a second after the end of the overtime, and it doesn't count, but I'll still take it. And these people are just professionally miserable. And they want me, and am I going to be miserable too? No. Sorry, sir. I'm not going to be as unhappy as you are. That's the motto of this town. Remember that song, Accentuate the Positive? The motto of this town is accentuate the negative. You got to accentuate the negative, bitch, and moan a lot. You got one good thing going on here, and you want to pee in our parade, sir. That's for you, okay? That's a big, fat, smelly brown one just for you, right through your radio speaker. I hope it sticks. God, I hope I give you a bad back. And by the way, even if we knew the name of that doctor, are we going to give you the name? No. No. Because I'm not talking about backs. I don't have a bad back. I don't know anything about backs. I understand a lot of people have back problems. Do I have a back problem? No. Does George have a back problem? No. Do we care about that? No. And doctors, no. We don't care. We're talking about IBS, mostly the BS, which is most of the people we talk to on this show, day after day after day. You wouldn't know something good if it came along and bit you on a goddamn lip like Eartha Kitt. You still wouldn't know it. You wouldn't recognize it. Somebody came at noon as the little hand struck the big hand at 12 noon exactly. And just left a big, big carton on your front doorstep with $1 million in cash, unmarked bills. And you'd be belly aching because the bills are all so small. How come they couldn't have left hundreds? It's inconvenient. I'm serious. That's the way these people are, man. I have never seen so many sour, negative people, hostile, unfriendly, angry, negatory, one-dimensional, and I'm not going to let it drag me down anymore. I made up my, I had this, I'll be honest with you, I thought I was on a way out. I really did. Because you have this, it was bad. There were times when it was really bad, this IBS, and there are times you think, I got a big tumor in there like Norma Kant, and I'm not looking forward to that. And you start reading about all these things. It could be this, it could be that, and you go through all those tests, and I'm as clean as a whistle, man. If I looked as good on the outside as I do on the inside, I'd be dynamite. I'd be dangerous. If I looked as bad on the inside as I do on the outside, I'd be in a box. But that's beside the point. Can't have everything. So I've made up my mind. I'm not going to let Greg Reed and this goddamn horseball company drag my ass down. Screw them. They don't want to provide me a studio that works. I'll come in and play goddamn Chinese melodies every day. I don't give a crap. There's nothing in my contract that says I got to sit here and talk to anybody. It's the Neil Rogers Show. You know what the Neil Rogers Show is? Whatever the hell Neil Rogers decides it is. If I want to come on here and go like that every day, that's the Neil Rogers Show. And if nobody listens to it, tough crap. That's what you sign up for, and you give me nothing in return. Nothing. A phone system that works? No. A goddamn, even the in-house phone don't work. No. Nothing. There's the B. Good timing. All right. Let's hear it. Where did that come from? Where the hell did that come from? I never
Remember that happened once on Friday?
Now we got a spontaneous phone down. Look at that. I didn't have my hand. You saw me. Was my hand anywhere near the phone? No. No, and all of a sudden we get a dial tone. The line 7 punches up by itself. Spontaneous emission. How do you like that?
Squirt.
And people like this last guy, in the middle of all this great stuff going on, a great game there in the arena on Saturday night. All kinds of excitement, and what a pass Whitney made to Parrish for that goal, and the Bure and Whitney on the first goal with Raymond Bourque is back, Mr. All-Star, Mr. Hall of Fame, and Bure slides it right across, and Whitney slams it in the net, and then we win in overtime. Unbelievable. Here's one great thing you got going on in this town, and we got too many goddamn dull, slow, stupid people to take the time to catch on to what it's all about. We only had it going on here 7 years. Oh, we'll wait till the playoffs so we can be a bunch of front-running, just like they did with the Marlins that year in 97. All of a sudden they were filling up. And during the early part of the playoffs in 97, did they fill up the stadium? No. But all of a sudden it was convenient. It was exciting to jump on a bandwagon. This town is going to drown one day from bandwagon jumpers. We're right there at sea level already, And one day these bandwagon jumpers, all of them are going to jump at the same time. They're going to push us right down under sea level. They have a goddamn flood. A flood in your pants. From all the phony bandwagon jumpers. Oh, we'll wait till the playoffs, and then we can run around with our little banners on the windows, and we love you, Panthers. Yeah. Just like the phonies in this town that couldn't see that their football team was a piece of dreck, a stinking, rotting, choking piece of dreck. And they get beat 62-7 by a team, by the way, that like yesterday forgot to show up, I guess, by a marginal team, which we obviously saw yesterday. Get beat 62-7 by that team. And these people are, well, bada beep, bada boop, bada, what happened? What happened? God, you can't complain about the education in this town. There ain't any. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello?
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Neil, me and my wife didn't know how tightly we were clenched until Bure scored that goal, that winning goal in overtime.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked down at my feet. I had my toes clenched, my hands balled up, my butt clenched.
My balls were balled up. I was so excited.
I mean, and it was just such a release from, because I guess it carried over.
Squirt.
Yeah, you got it. It carried over from the night before with the frustration of that damn Norm Miracle. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about one guy that just brings it against you, you know?
Yeah, he was great. He only plays good against us.
Yes. And they definitely, I mean, if Billy Lindsay exposed Ray Bork in that playoff game as losing already maybe a step and a half, I mean, they really exposed him bad.
Yeah, he's a doddering old man.
Yes, he looked on the bench. I mean, when he sat down on the bench, he really looked tired, like with an expression like saying, screw this.
He's like the Dan Marino of hockey, you know. It's time to hang it up.
I think so, Neil.
Okay, pal. Glad you unclenched it. There's a guy. Look at this phone again here, huh? Is there enthusiasm here?
No.
Is there excitement?
No.
3 stinking calls on the board. I want to see some goddamn action here today. I want to see the people besides the crazy old Cuban people that are in Little Havana. I want to see the rest of this town get a little bit fired up and whipped up to a frenzy instead of the same old tired garbage making this town into a laughing stock. That's the problem. You have ceded. You've just handed over the reins of the kingdom in this town to a bunch of crazy old bastards. That's what you've done. And I'm nauseated by it. This could be a great place. We had casinos in here. We had some younger people in here. This could be paradise here. This could be heaven. You walk out, you get up, okay, this morning we had some rain, but 99% of the days you get up in the morning, it's a nice day outside. What the hell do you want? We just have the wrong people. We have a bunch of mugwumps. We have a bunch of rednecks. We have a bunch of Bible-thumping old farts, a bunch of crusty old lunatics taking up the goddamn highway and pushing us out of the way for their early bird. That's the problem here. You let me pick who's going to live here. This will be the greatest place on the face of the earth. We won't have to have illegal goddamn brothels down there at young girls' houses in Kendall because we'll have legal ones in every street corner. We won't have to have anybody getting busted for medical marijuana because anybody that wants it can go down to the Brown Cafe on a corner and smoke whatever the hell they want. So when you make me your dictator, things are going to change in this godforsaken place. But you know what? I'll be gone by then anyway. You'll look around, oh, gee, he's gone. Damn it. Long gone. What was that song by Bobby Darin, Across the Sea? 10 past 11 at 560 WQM.
M-O-N-D-A-Y-S-U-C-K-S.
All right. Tonight.
Help! Hold still. Can't hold this guy down. Help! Get the club. The club? Oh, yeah. Okay. Hold still. Is this it? Yes. Use it on him. Okay. Use the club on him. Go, man. I can't even lift this thing. It hurts my wrist. Going for the gun. He's going for the gun. Let me try something. Hey, Mr. Bad Guy. Drop the darn gun. Thank you.
The new series begins tonight on the world's most threatening cops.
It's 11:14. You know something? These buttons, remember who the hell was it that made these up for me? The band Elian Buttons, whoever the hell was. It was that lady. Remember she called that day? But I don't think I still have the thing. What? Damn it, no. But the band Elian Buttons, everybody ought to be wearing these. Because do we want to talk about it anymore?
No.
Do we want to hear about it anymore?
No.
Does it affect our lives?
No.
Are we sick of it?
Uh-huh.
Damn it. Let's start moving. This is a message for a lot of you people out there. Don't get dragged down by the crap. Take the BS out of the IBS, and you'll feel a hell of a lot better just like I do today. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T. Whitney and Bure and Whitney. That's all you need to talk about.
Gee, how come we still got Niedermeyer on the team? How come we lost the game?
Yeah. You can't talk to morons about stuff that they don't understand. You can't do it. They don't get it. Here's a mobile in Lauderhill. Hello.
Neil, have I got a story for you that just shows all about the people here in South Florida? I'm on the road, okay? So I have to take a leak. So I decided to go to this Publix out here in Lauderdale.
You took a leak in Publix, yeah?
Yes. Now, as I'm walking up to the door, I can smell something coming out of the room, okay?
Yeah.
Now, yeah, exactly. I walk into the bathroom, start to go towards the urinal,
yeah.
And in the urinal is the hugest pile of Schmidt that I've ever seen in my life. I don't know how.
Yeah.
I don't know how the guy did this.
Yeah.
First of all, this pile is so huge it looks like a cow left it.
Uh-huh.
So I could just picture some huge guy.
Maybe Oprah was in there. Yeah, maybe she got the wrong door.
Squatting into the stinking urinal to leave a big Schmidt. It's all over the side of the urinal. It's on the floor. I'm like, this just says it all about the people in South Florida,
it's a
man.
Schmitty place. You're right. Thanks for the good news, sir. There you go. That's perfect. That sums it up in a shell. 567-0560, pound 560. Plus, we don't have to worry about what we're eating in here today because I'm not eating in here. And don't eat when you're under stress. Don't eat while you're working. Don't eat when you're under stress. It'll tear your kishkis out. I got a whole new attitude about life, man. I'm born again. Just call me born again.
Neil, God!
Right. Because for the first time in over a month, I feel like almost a semblance of a human being. I've been just dying over here. Dying and thinking, what have I got? Is it this? Is it that? I'm going under this test and that test. And they're looking at my stomach and looking at my
rectum,
every other goddamn body part. And now I realize I'm just stressed out from working for a bunch of assholes and getting dragged down by a bunch of assholes. Am I going to allow that anymore?
No.
Never again. Just like people that don't like this show. You don't like this show? Goodbye. See ya. You don't like it when George is on? Goodbye, because he ain't going anywhere. You don't like the tapes? Too bad. Whatever. We don't care. We don't effing care. That's the QAM way anyway. And it's taken me over 2 years to finally come to that conclusion. But just like Yeldy says, we don't give a Schmidt, okay? We don't care. We won't care. There's nothing you can do to make us care. There you go. And I'm thinking to myself this weekend, all the time, sure, there's days you're going to come in when you do a show 5 days a week. You're not going to do a great show. But most of the time, 99% of the time when there's been a problem with the show, was it on this end?
No.
It was on the end of that phone there. Right here with this goddamn phone, between it not working and the crappy calls and these idiots out there. That's where the problem lies. Not on this end. You ought to kiss your goddamn radio right now. If it sounds a little bit self-serving, too bad, I don't care. You ought to be kissing your radio that you got this show coming through your little thing. And your speaker, too. But just like the guy with his Niedermeyer call, oh, no, we don't want to do that. Let's find the negative. Let's get the negatory. Let's bitch and bellyache and moan and groan. See, there's nothing wrong with bitching and bellyaching. I do plenty of that, but at least about things that deserve to be bitched and bellyached about. But not when there's something good going on. Even Victor Kozlov, here's a guy who thought he was another figure skater, another Esset can skate around and around in circles and never finish the play. You want to know why? Because he didn't have anybody to finish the play. And they're in overtime Saturday night. Unbelievable. He's around and around and around. Comes out in front of the net, takes a shot, and there's Bure to whack it, a rebound. We win the game. Everybody's screaming. We run out of there. All right. Having a good night. Nice going, Victor. Now, of course, you think that when you're surrounded by excellence, sometimes it lifts you up if you have the ability. Of course, you look at the morning show on the station, I think is a good example. I mean, it was pretty weak before I came here, and now I've been here 2 years. Is it any better?
No.
No, see? So in other words, if you got it, and you're surrounded by greatness, then it can elevate you and lift you to another level. If you don't have it, no matter what, you know what I'm saying? You're still going to stink. But Danny, the players want Danny back, and Danny, here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Neil, hi, how are you?
Great.
Good. How about those Panthers, huh?
Right.
Anyway, I almost had a heart attack when I saw Bure flying into the board the other night. I tell you, that was a pretty hard hit he took.
Yeah, he can handle himself. All these people that think he's a pussy, he can handle himself. Don't kid yourself.
And Mike Vernon, what a pickup, huh?
Right.
I tell you, that one goal he stopped, we were sitting way up on the top, on the side, and I tell you, that puck looked like it was right on the line.
Yeah.
I guess it has to.
It was on the line.
Did it have to go all the way over?
It has to go all the way over, right.
Just part of the puck or all of the puck?
Let me say it again. All the way over.
Okay.
Which means the entire thing. Just puck it.
You know, and my son and I, we go about 2 games a month, and since my divorce, and I pay alimony and all that kind of stuff. And I don't care if you're a fan, you'll find a way to get the money to go. And
right,
and
that's right, or at least to a few games anyway. This is a town of excuses, and it's amazing to me how all of a sudden when the playoffs start, you'll see you won't be able for love or money to get near that place once the playoffs start. All of a sudden they'll discover all this spare money they got hidden under the somewhere.
And we got one of the biggest games coming up Wednesday night against
That's
the
right.
Devils. And
If that game on Wednesday against New Jersey isn't sold out, I think I'm going to cause a scene in that place. I'm going to start running around and spitting on every empty seat. I'm going to be pissed off.
that's going to be a great barometer for just how good we are, I think.
Right.
Yeah. Well, have a good day, Neil.
And back to you, sir. I'll
Take
see you
care.
Wednesday.
Bye.
See you Wednesday for the New Jersey Devils. Now, granted, they're not the most exciting team in the league. They're just the best team in the league, which unfortunately they're back to that coma style again. I think we're going to kick their ass. That's what I think. That's my personal opinion, is that we're going to kick their ass. People who just don't want to get out of their house and learn something new and exciting. And as much as George despises sports, I will say this: he's actually, because the tickets were free, on a couple of times come to a couple of hockey games.
I'm an open-minded guy.
There you go.
Least boring sport to watch.
Would he go to the Dolphin game?
No.
No. Would he go to a Heat game? See a big bunch of 7-foot Spartans batting it around? No. Would he go to a Marlins game? No way.
Well, when they have the free food at the...
When they have the free food up
skybox,
there, yeah.
But then I watch something else on TV.
Of course. At least they give you a goddamn channel, a remote control for the TV, thank God. Soon I have to watch that boring Marlin crap. And then over the weekend, I forget which paper was it, I got a whole puff piece.
I must be crazy. I must be nuts.
Yeah, the front page and 85,000 paragraphs about what a great guy John Henry is, and he never stole a freight train, and he's such a wonderful guy. Yeah, right. You should live so long. He's a putz. Another snake oil salesman who got bamboozled by Wayne, of course, joined the club. There's a long list of us. Got bamboozled by Wayne, and now he expects everybody else to bail his ass out. Is it going to happen?
No.
Bye-bye, John Henry. They like baseball on Cuba. Maybe you can escort Elian home. Here's a mobile in Hollywood. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Maybe they'll build him a stadium. Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Great.
Listen, went to the Mac Arena for the first time the other night. Brought my daughter her first hockey game. And she says to me, Dad, I would rather see one hockey game than go to 10 Marlins games.
Right.
We had the most
conflict.
unbelievable time. We sat in the last row, section 416. I mean, there's not a bad seat in that place. You can see the expression on the player's face from way up there.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable. We had a great time. In between, and the section we sat in, nobody's getting up and down to get the food and go back and forth. Everybody's watching the game, into the game. The only time anybody got up was in between periods. You go down to the food court, there's no more than 2 or 3 people ahead of you. You get in, you get out, the bathroom.
Yeah, unlike that Mickey Arena in Miami where I keep hearing about the fact that the corridors are real narrow and the lines are real long, and you go out to get a sandwich or a soda or something, you have to wait for like a half an hour.
Yeah, you have to start at the next period. We had the best time. That stadium is fantastic. I love it, and I will definitely be back at that stadium.
Good. See you there,
Great
pal.
place.
Excellent.
All right, take care.
And let's see, a lot of people bring their kids, which is great, although I will say this. There was a very nice lady who sits down in our section. She knows who she is, and I know who she is. But at any rate, she had 2 little kids sitting behind her, and they were kicking the back of her seat. And as she came up after the first period, she went by, she said, if those kids don't stop kicking my seat, they may go home in a box, something like that. That's what I was thinking. So if you bring your little kids, that's great, because that's the way to get your kids into the game. But take a little bit of control. Will you take control over your kids?
No.
Like I said, leave them home. People that let their kids run roughshod and just stand around and look around and they're oblivious, I've seen that a zillion times, like people in airports with their little kids who are just destroying everything in their sight. They're getting into the computers, they're on the keyboards, they're knocking stuff apart, they're opening the door and setting off the alarms, and the parents are like, like that. I think anytime you see that, there ought to be a sterilization squad. And you ought to have like a special number, like 911 will have like 611 or some other number. And you bring in a sterilization squad, they report immediately, and right there on the spot, they snip them out. Yeah, they sterilize them right there on the spot. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's North Miami. Hello.
Hey Neil, how are you?
Great.
I got to tell you, I'm sure you have. When you were outside the country, people outside this world are laughing at us. I mean, You look at the news and everything is an Elian this and Elian that, and the world is passing.
Yeah, well, so is that anything new?
No, I mean, that's why this town stinks. We lose the Latin Grammy, we lose the Pan Am game. For what? Because somebody, just in case, might say Fidel Castro or something? This town sucks.
Okay, thanks. There's a bulletin for you, okay? This town sucks.
Oh!
Major bulletin. All he did was just repeat everything I got through saying. See, I don't need that. I don't need that. I understand your frustration, sir, but just calling and parroting what I just got through saying, is that interesting?
No.
No. So, can it. Maybe you can sell it. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Let's accentuate the positive, goddammit, because like I said, otherwise you'll wind up with IBS with a lot of the BS, the bullshit, with twisted kishkis. And I'm sick of having twisted kishkis because there are a lot of assholes running around out there. I'm oblivious. I don't care about them anymore. And like I said, that little kid Elian, you can put him on a goddamn banana boat for all I care. You can put him on a goddamn cattle car. I don't give a crap. I care a hell of a lot more about people who are here and have been here and American citizens or whatever the hell they are, or even illegal aliens like George, whatever his status is this week, than people that come in on a goddamn rubber raft because they were waiting for a joyride here. No free ride here. Go home. Goodbye. Adios. You're a ghost. Send him to Guantanamo, okay? They're going to build him a goddamn monument. He's going to have a castle and a palace. He'll be running the goddamn country another 2-3 years. He'll be like the Dalai Lama. 26 past 11 at 560 WQM.
Ed Kaplan knows the score. Starting at 10 till the last game ends. Weeknight only on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Ray Whitney has a pair.
Another football playing bully. Plays for the Cleveland Browns. He got a flag in his eye and he lost his mind and threw the referee on the ground. Well, they kicked him out of the game. And Penton further review. You say all is well or he'll go to hell. It's all up, it's ugly up, boo boo boo. Yes, I hear the man, Orlando Brown, throwing the referee on the ground. Being an NFL job.
Unbelievable.
Did you never hear the jail cell lock?
Incredible.
Every sports franchise never met a criminal they didn't like. Now, if you can catch the ball or run with the ball, then rape and murder, that'd be all right. As long as they can fill the bleachers and sell out Sunday's game, well, who cares? Who gets money long as they're making money? And the lemons like you do the wave. He be bad. Orlando Brown, throwing the referee on the ground. Being an NFL job means you never hear the jail cell lock. Being an NFL job means you never hear the jail cell lock.
11:31 at 560 WQM. By the way, you know what I had yesterday for the first time in years, and I discovered I actually like them. Beans and onions. Baked beans and onions. Out of a can. And you know what? It doesn't make you fart. Where did you come up with that?
What kind of beans?
Huh?
Baked beans?
Baked beans with the onions.
Oh, yeah, gaseous.
Didn't make me gaseous, Clay.
Instantly.
No, not at all. I feel so much better doing this fiber thing. I think I'm going to bring that book in tomorrow. If you're doing Atkins and you're doing it like the guy that called last week, aren't you doing Atkins anymore? I'm doing it. I'm doing great. But if you're not doing it, I'm not doing it. Well, sir, I'm sitting here with my little finger deep inside my
rectum.
Why don't you try it now, huh? Boy. Not everybody works the same. Not everything works for everybody the same. If it works for you, do it. More power to you. Gay gesundheit hate. Have a great life. But the fiber thing, I think, is where it's at. Was I losing weight on the Atkins?
No.
No. Then, of course, there's that Peter Leonard story. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil. How you doing?
Okay.
I respect your opinion about Vegas. So I wanted to ask you, I'm going out there the first week of March. Planning on staying at the Mirage because it's good right. I haven't been out there in a while. What would you suggest if you want to go for a nice dinner?
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. How did I know the first word out of his mouth that that's what it was going to be, huh? So that was that hysterical?
No.
Was that a panic?
No.
Pathetic. I would say, the restroom that the guy was talking about at Publix before, where the guy Schmidt in the urinal, I think that would be a good meal for you right there. That's a good start, a little appetizer for you. And work your way on over to the bowl. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
I want to thank you for pointing out what most of us have known for a long time, that Kozlov is a brilliant, brilliant center, and
Yeah.
a lot of the sports writers who gave up on him early in the year all of a sudden discovered that maybe they were wrong.
Well, I mean,
all along.
how could you not give up on him? He was very disappointing, but all of a sudden he's playing with a great guy, and look how great he's playing. And you got a guy that's got tremendous talent, and Whitney, as good as he played the last 2 years, look how much better he's playing. He's playing with a superstar.
Without question, it's definitely catching, and I want you to know that on top of that, on Sunday, after he had that brilliant setup for the overtime goal, he showed up at he was there for a charity fundraising event, and a lot of these superstars could easily have kissed it off and said they're tired. He happens to be a quality guy off the ice.
See, this is another thing these people don't appreciate. I mean, they used to talk about it back in the early days, I guess, when it was a novelty about, the fact that the hockey players were friendly and they signed autographs and they weren't a bunch of scumbags, at least most of them, like a lot of the football players and some of these other guys. And now it's like, that idiot calls me on Thursday or Friday. We can't follow the team because we don't know the players anymore. Well, how hard is it to catch up with who's on the team? Get a program.
I don't get the mentality there, and no matter what good is thrown in your face, you find something to bitch about.
Right.
I just don't get it. But the other thing I wanted to say is I suffered with your IBS problem for about 10 years, and I found a cure.
Right.
I got rid of the assholes that were around me.
Right.
I got better immediately.
Exactly.
So I wish you'd do the same.
It's working for me already. Thanks.
There you go.
Thanks a lot. 567. Who's that Victor Kozlov man they're talking? Who's that? Sounds like some kind of a Russian guy. Is he with the Russian mafia?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, another one of those guys. We don't know these guys because they traded away all of our favorite people. Yeah. What a bunch of morons. What a bunch of losers. 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 Taking up space that real living and breathing people could be taken up. God, this, like I said, this could be paradise. We could be surrounded by 3-4 million really happening people who are with it, people with a brain, people with a good sense of humor, people who enjoy the good things in life. Danny and Danny and Danny and Danny and Danny, yeah. Man, when in doubt, they just wear you out. But not this kid. I'm oblivious to them anymore. I don't care. I got my own agenda. Here's Fort Myers. Hello.
Yeah, hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think this is the first time I've called, and I got to tell you, you are a jerk because, let me finish.
Yeah, let you finish.
Okay, we have a minor league hockey team here, the Florida Everblades. I took my kid to a game Saturday night. He was standing, he was cheering, he wasn't kicking any seats, and the people next to him are yelling at him, telling him to sit down. He turns to me between periods and cries and says, Dad, that guy's grumpy. You've just turned off a kid. I think if a kid can pay for a seat, the kid can stand, the kid can have fun. Let me tell you something, you're one of the old people in Florida.
He can kick people in the back of the seat?
I said he didn't kick people in the back of the seats, but he was standing, he was cheering, he was screaming.
Who's talking about your kid?
You're telling me that all these kids should be locked up and stay on a chain? You gotta be crazy. Kids are kids, they pay for a seat.
Yeah, and if kids are bothering other people and get them their ass out, they paid for a seat. Oh, your kid paid for the seat? I don't think so. You know what he sounds like? He sounds like one of those parents that's going to let his kids do anything. If you want to scream and shout and be enthusiastic, great. I have no problem with that. That's what you're supposed to be there for. I'm a jerk because, and see, as soon as he starts attacking, that tells me what his kid must have been doing. I don't think that most people go to any event of any kind looking to complain about the way somebody else is behaving. But if they're kicking you in the back of the seat or they're doing things that are like making your life miserable, you got a right to complain. And if you don't want to take control of your kids, man, you got a lot of company out there. Get the sterilization team over to Fort Myers immediately and trace that call. I'm a jerk. I know exactly what I'm talking about, and believe me, there's plenty of kids in that arena, and they handle themselves fine, no problem at all. They behave better than some of the adults because they're not drunk and slobbering all over everybody. But the fact that you take it so personally that you want to make an attack on me, that tells me everything that I need to know. Don't need Jack Webb and Shylock Holmes to figure that out, okay, sir? You're another one. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. 22 before noon at QAM.
After hockey, Dolphins football, Marlins baseball, and now the Miami Hurricanes too. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
I dropped my wiener.
Hey, who you looking at?
guy's a nutcase. You can't look directly at him. You cannot look in his eyes. If you do, your job goes bye-bye. He'd say, when I come in a room, you leave it, you leave without turning around. It's no wonder they didn't last that long. It's like the first I signed up, not a job. 45 guys, their job, and now they're suing you and your wife. It's like the and if you speak to his mom, pat your back 'cause you're gone. This kind of treatment just ain't right. You slice alone.
Okay, it's 18 till noon at 560 QM. By the way, the Herald today, buried on page 12 or 13, whatever the hell it is, 13, I guess, is their hockey stuff. And is there one mention of the Panthers in there?
No.
No. Not a word. They don't even have Florida. At least the Sun Sentinel has got Florida like in bold letters in the standings because it's our team. And they got an article in here by Michael Russo that doesn't say very much, but it's in there. And the trade, the Primo for Brindamore, et cetera, and so on. What's going on? The coverage in this town, you can't complain about it because basically there isn't any. It sucks. And these one-dimensional, narrow-minded, stubborn-ass, hard-ass people. Oh, well, we don't know from that. Well, when are you going to learn from something? When are you going to go out for your dead ass and start smelling the pansies and go out there and live life instead of wallowing in this goddamn alien, and all this crap? Screw you people on the TV channels, okay? You're a bunch of grave robbers. You're totally irresponsible. I'm embarrassed for you. I'm ashamed that you're in this town. 4, 6, 7, and 10. I'll never, as long as I live, forget that day that there was not a goddamn thing going on down there on 79th and Biscayne. There was hardly anybody left there, and they still, hour after hour after hour, all afternoon long, kept hawking away and hawking away, seeing how many other people they could get to go out in the streets and disrupt this goddamn community. Don't tell me about irresponsible, because 4, 6, 7, and 10, every one of you are a bunch of assholes. Everyone responsible for that coverage. There's some good people that work at those channels. I don't want to lump them in. But as far as the news people, bunch of idiots, irresponsible, exploitive jackasses. And by the way, how's that broad that got shot at the cemetery? Oh, I'm sorry. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. How are you today?
Okay.
Neil, I have a question for you. Why is the government spending so much money on this Elian case? Do you have any idea?
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. That guy from Fort Myers, he's exactly the kind of guy, you can be sure of it, that when you go into the supermarket and he and his wife are in there shopping, if he goes with her, the little kid is running around, knocking people down, knocking stuff off the shelves, eating food off the shelves, out of the wrapper, throwing wrappers on the floor. You just know it because of the hysteria, his attitude. Oh, my kid could never do any wrong. And I'll say it again, 95, maybe 98% of the kids that come to those games, and there's tons and tons of them, thank goodness, they behave fine. They behave great. But when somebody is doing something specific, which is what I was talking about, it's unacceptable. Whether it's an adult spilling beer on your head or it's some kid kicking you in the back of the seat all during the game, it is unacceptable, sir. And you can be as pissed off and fired up as you want to be, but that's just the way it is. Because the people sitting in the seats in front of them, in this case that very nice lady who sits in my section, she didn't pay her money for that seat, so some kid could be kicking her in the back of the head for 3 hours. Oh no, my kid can do no wrong. Forced sterilization. Here's a mobile in Sunrise. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing? First
Okay.
time caller.
Yes, sir.
I had to call in and tell you I still got half a voice left from Saturday night's game.
Right.
My first game of the year.
Really?
And I just went to the stadium and bought 12 tickets for my buddies. It was great.
Yeah.
And I want
You
to.
picked a winner.
I got something to say for you. Panthers goal by number 10, Pavel Bure. Take care.
567-0560. Oh, I wish you could have seen the look on George's face while I was going. I just an expression on his puss 5670560, pound 560. I'm getting the BS out of the IBS, baby. Oh! That's right. No more crap in this kid's bowels. See, as soon as you say bowel, irritable bowel syndrome, the only thing that they know is
rectum.
Hey, that's not. It's Kishki's, baby. It's your intestines. That's most of it. I mean, you may have a few problems too, but it's Kishki's. It's that stomach. It's that nervous, twisting, aching, sick, and of course, it also affects. In fact, all the. I mentioned this the other day when they faxed this stuff over, and I said, "Oh, that's me." All the other side effects. Yeah, pain in the jaw, shortness of breath, dizziness. Painful menstrual periods, that's definitely me.
Homosexuality.
Fat and ugliness. Back pain. Oh, back pain. What was the name of that doctor, by the way, that they were talking about, George? That back doctor? I think his name was Dr. Dick. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about something important besides Elian, the aliens.
Forget about him. I'm not discussing that, sir. I will not discuss it.
Good. I need to ask you a very
important... I don't waste my time on people with bad teeth.
I need to ask you a very important question. I know you're the movie maven of the world. What was the movie that James Wood was in where they stuck him in the trash compactor?
Once Upon a Time in America.
Okay. That's a very important question. Thank you.
And a very important answer. Okay. No, was that an important question?
No.
No, but it killed a few seconds. It was better than, I'm going to Vegas, and what restaurant could you recommend for me to commit suicide in? 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. You don't have to go all the way to Vegas. Just go to Pier 66. They got the restaurant on the top there that spins around, you know. Just dive off of that thing. Get some good coverage. Maybe Rick Sanchez will be there to catch you on the way down. And by the way, the guy that he hit, here's North Miami Beach. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil, how you doing today?
Okay.
I'd like to first start by saying off I'm a veteran of foreign wars. And I'm really tired of the Cuban people here in Miami.
5670560, pound 560 on the 8. Didn't I just get you saying only moments ago? I'm not discussing that. Didn't I just get you saying that? You're tired of the Cuban people, okay? You know something? Most of the Cuban people are tired of the Cuban people, the so-called exiles. Most everybody with a brain is sick and tired of them, okay? I'm not gonna let this show get dragged down and mired. I'm having a good time here today. I'm in a good mood. I feel great. Physically, I feel sensational. I got some energy. Panthers won a goddamn game. Leafs got a hard-fought tie with Washington the other night. That's what's important in life. Isn't it? Well, whatever. Especially when you live here. Is there anything else? No, just staying alive, man. Like the Bee Gees said, staying alive. And I'm not going to let this radio show get dragged down in the mire with all the other swill with this alien crap. Because that's exactly and positively what it is. It's a big, fat pile of
crap.
Yes. Thank you. If we want crap, we'll go to that urinal that the guy was talking about at Publix. Not my Publix. They know their crap at my Publix. They're the best. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil.
Yes.
Neil, God.
Speaking.
So much to say, so little time.
Go ahead.
First of all, Neil, I've been down here 30 years. When you leave, I'm leaving.
Okay.
I'm out of here.
Better start packing, man. It's going to be soon.
Second of all, this Puerto Rican kid, I got a neighbor that lives down there.
Puerto Rican kid.
Where's he from? Haiti?
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Not only is he insisting on talking about it, he don't even know where he's from. Now all of a sudden, poor Elian, it's not bad enough. He's got to take all the other crap going on. Now he's a Puerto Rican.
So if Elian went to Vegas,
maybe
what
Ricky
doctor
Martin
would
could take him back. Yeah, if Elian goes to Vegas to see the Las Vegas Thunder at the hockey game, who can he sit behind and kick him in the back of the head? Maybe the guy from Fort Myers. Oh! That would be good. A little taste of your own medicine, okay? You irresponsible parent, you scumbag. You're not fooling us, mister. Getting all testy with me. All we're talking about is some specific kids that are sitting behind this one woman, and right away he goes getting all better. You're a jerk because, yeah. You sound a little bit too defensive for me, sir, a lot too defensive. Obviously, you're one of those irresponsible parents that lets your kids run roughshod over everybody else. And the excuse is, well, kids will be kids. Yeah, even when they're in a box, you know. Here's a mobile in South Miami. Hello.
You got to blame the parents. If they
Right.
do it there, they do it everywhere.
That's right. You know it.
There's nothing you can do. Neil, what do you think Philadelphia came out ahead in that trade with Brendan
Yes.
Moore?
Oh, yeah. But I mean, they had to do something. Carolina had to do something. They're struggling. They're desperate.
I always thought Brendan Moore was pretty straight up player.
But
They'll
you know
barely
something?
miss it.
Philadelphia is going nowhere until, of course, the rumor is they're trading the Beezer. But until I get a real goaltender in there, they're not going anywhere.
You don't think Primo's a bit of an attitude, a bit of a head case?
Yeah, he is, but that doesn't always mean anything. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Have a good day.
And you too. Oh, I'm sick and tired of the same big money teams, Philadelphia and the Rangers, Rangers and Philadelphia. Every goddamn marquee player, now Kachuk's supposed to go to the Rangers. Every big name player, they go to those markets because they got the big bucks. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Lighthouse Point. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
We've been battling IBS with my daughter for years, and it's not an easy thing to get rid of. But stress is definitely a factor. We had a trip to Hawaii, and we were lucky enough to be able to take her along. She didn't want to go because she was worried, and she has a job and she has kids, and there's stress with that.
Right.
Happy marriage even, but still a lot of stress.
Mm-hmm.
We got her over there out of the totally stress-free environment. She had for a week no problems.
How do you like that?
So that was proof. That was proof to us anyway.
Absolutely.
She was saying that the doctors are saying it's in my head and that she's all upset, but it kind of opened her eyes that stress does have a
chronic
factor.
stress.
Oh, you know what else helps? And I'm not saying you got to get the crippy bud that'll stone you on your butt, but pot does help. A small amount. I'm not I'm not saying that. George will appreciate that.
Yeah, just walking down the streets in Amsterdam where they have the cafes on the Rue de Vaseline there, just walking by the cafes and inhaling, that'll do it. Don't even have to go inside.
Right on. And also, in front of us in our seats, there's a little girl, and every now and then, she always stands up trying to get on the overhead on the screen. And every now and then she'll be up when the play starts. And her dad just, sit down, boom, and she's right down. Well behaved.
Nice going, Dad.
Kid.
That's the way.
That's what you got to do. Take care, Neil. Good luck.
Okay. See, there's good parents and there's bad parents for that jackass in Fort Myers. And we know which category you fall into. No question about it. Irresponsible. 567-05. And by the way, we're sure glad that you're over there in Fort Myers, not over here disrupting our enjoyment at the Mac Arena. Here's Fort Myers again. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, my apologies from Fort Myers. That idiot. I think I know who
every
he is.
place has got its losers, man. He's one of them.
I'm telling you, hey, speaking of that here, when I heard that guy call, I got totally pissed. I mean, let me tell you, where I live, we got a canal and boats, okay? And our neighbors have got a whole gaggle of unruly kids jumping up and down on people's boats. I'll tell you, if I was at the Everglades, yeah, exactly. If I was at the Everglades, I'd be calling the attendant, get this guy the hell out of here.
Right.
With the kid. And then and this guy in Fort Myers needs to listen right now, man. It's like, hey, you're really infringing on other people's rights when they go do that. So. And
you could tell by, like I said, by his hysterical reaction.
Well, yeah, it's an instant
defense. He's got a guilty conscience.
Exactly. Instant defense.
Right.
Oh, well, my kids don't do that. They're running around, schmitting all over the place.
If his kid's behaving well, then there isn't any reason that he would have even called.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he took offense to it right away,
Yeah.
I mean, look in the mirror. That's
if the shoe fits.
Pardon?
I said if the shoe fits.
Yeah, wear it. It stinks.
Right.
Okay, Neil. Have a
great day.
Bye.
If the fool fights, what's that number on the out-of-town line real quick? 877-785-6345. If the fool fights, learn to fly. Greatest video in history, by the way. Oh, that's because there's all them fags in there. Yeah, that's right. Great song, too. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
First-time caller. I love your show.
Great.
I don't know if you caught it was a hockey game last week that it was on in the afternoon, and I think they preempted your show or you weren't on.
Yeah, I was away. I was in Vegas.
You were in Vegas. Okay. There was a sound bite that you might want to go back if you can listen to it. I thought it was hysterical. It was the two announcers. I think it was Randy Moeller and Jake McDonald.
Yeah.
There was a stick holding call, and they went on about this, and it was not one stick holding, but holding two sticks. And the first thing that popped into my head was that, Neil would have a field day with this. This is just too funny for him. And just the way they were really serious about it, but holding the sticks. And I'm out of material, man.
We know what he's holding. Rhymes with stick. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil, how are you?
Great.
I was waiting for that call to go somewhere.
Yeah, right. Like away.
I just have a brief comment. I'm calling to commend you on putting the clamps on the Elian talk. I think it's long overdue.
What is there left to say?
We were out of things to say after the first couple of days.
I mean, if something happens and they send him back or whatever's going to happen, and we have some reaction to it, then I'll talk about it because that'll be what's going on here. But
If I hear one more word about this crappy kid, I'm going to have an alien baby myself.
Right.
I mean, enough is enough already.
I'm gonna bring Sigourney Weaver in here to pop an alien out right there on the lawn at their house. Those people with the bad teeth, they'll run like a maniac.
I think Sigourney Weaver is the only thing missing that we haven't seen yet.
She's coming.
Yeah, maybe we'll put a wig on Rick Sanchez.
Okay, have a great day. 5670560 pound 560. Yeah, a bunch of people with rotted teeth. They look like cigar store Indians on a bad day. Libertad, get out of here, go away. Put them on a goddamn banana boat, round those people all up and get them out of our face and let us live our lives. That's what we say. Let us live in peace. Peace, as in piece of Schmidt, which is what most of those people are. Libertad. You wouldn't know it if they stuck it in your rectum. Okay, Libertad. Unless it had onions and bacon on it.
This is 560 QAM. The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
One, two, three. I made it through college and averaged a C. I have a lot of money, but not much of a brain, like most of you voters who were just as lame. But I can say one thing that you can't. My daddy is an ex-president. I got money, power, and nothing to lose. I can do anything I choose. A little bit of cash is all I need to satisfy my ego and my greed. Manipulative marketing's all I use to garner votes for morons just like you. Back in school and made fun of me and laughed. I don't think I laughed that bad. Remember to vote for George Bush, and those of you who don't, you can kiss my tush. You see, what matters to me about the presidency is that it makes a nice conversation piece. I'm the king of denial, too. I have no problem lying to you. So why is it so important for you to know whether or not I did blow a little bit of cocaine up my nose, a little bit of toot, a little blow? When I'm elected, I'll put an end to all that. When I put up the concentration camp.
12:02 at 560 WQM. Happy Monday to you. We got Hank coming up in the studio, bad tooth and all, at 2 this afternoon. That's what Bluff said. 5670560 pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Bluff, he's on a job. He's is he on a is he doing it?
No.
He's doing it. Here's the Fort Lauderdale. Hello. Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, hi.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Neil?
Yes.
Neil, I got a question for you. Why are you always so aggravated?
Because I talk to people like you, sir.
Okay. Maybe you could learn something by talking to people like me.
About what? What would you like to teach me, sir?
I don't want to teach you
I'm not the
anything.
least bit aggravated. I'm in a great mood today. I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know?
No.
Well, then
What do you want to teach me today, sir? Let's go. Let's learn something today.
I don't want to teach you anything.
You just got through saying you said you could learn something from an old fart like me. What am I going to learn?
You're always aggravated.
How do you know that unless you listen every day?
I listen occasionally, yes.
Yeah. Well, maybe you just picked the bad days, or maybe the days when you're on the radio, maybe that's what puts me in a bad mood. That could be it. 5670560 pound 560 on it. Am I aggravated?
No.
I'm in a great mood. I feel better than I have in a month. And you hear that crusty old fart. What kind of a call is that, sir? Why would anybody with a life, underlining that part, with a life, call and wait a few minutes to get on here to say that? I'm not interested in your critique, sir, okay? I'm doing just fine without your help, you crusty old fart. And by the way, you dropped your bag. 5670560 pound 560 on the AT&T line. Here's Miramar. Hello.
Neil, first time caller, great show.
Yes, sir.
Kudos, and I want to salute you for getting rid of all this Elian crap.
No mas.
I was losing my lunch every morning. Hey, other than kissing your butt on the air, I want to let you know that Miramar supports Neely's, and we support Neil. Thank you, sir.
Okay. What did he say? Do we know what he said?
No.
Whatever he said. Good intentions. Out of material. Are they out of material already today?
Uh-huh.
Wow. Whitney and Bure and Whitney. That's where it's at. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Yeah, why would anybody be aggravated just because we got so many old farts like that guy? That's sour, you can hear it in his voice. The toe jam stuck in his esophagus. Here's Fort Myers. Hello.
Neil, well, that guy sounded like a bridge tender or something.
You know what he sounded like to me?
Idiotic.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, you know that guy that called about these minor league hockey games over here are preempting the Panther games on the radio. It's hard to pick up 560 at night, so they put this minor league crap on. You know, which is fine if you want to go there and watch a game, but you know.
Yeah, who wants to hear some stupid minor league hockey game?
Exactly.
Got the Panthers who are just kicking serious ass, and with the most exciting player in the goddamn world. Who wants to hear some little kids team?
You want to talk about crusty old farts? You got to hear the play-by-play guy.
Oh, I can imagine.
And then this afternoon guy here, they cut off the hammer at 2:00 or at 4:00, and they put this real crusty fart on. He's a real crock of Schmidt. But anyway.
They cut Hank off at what?
At 4:00.
What an embarrassment.
Exactly. And you know, it's like it's a pretend radio station.
Yeah, it's a make-believe company.
And they got
just keep that in mind. It's the wanna Beasleys, man. These are not broadcasters. These are grave robbers. They're not broadcasters.
And they got these butt
They haven't
brothers
got two
on
nickels
in the
to rub
morning, too.
together.
Yeah, these butt brothers that are on in the morning.
Yeah.
They blow badly.
Okay,
But,
well, thanks for the good news. Do we care about Fort Myers Radio?
No.
No, but thanks for the report. 567. Look at this. Look at here we go. What did I just say minutes ago? They're out of material already. You can smell it. You can smell it when crusty old farts like that guy 3 calls ago, when they start calling in, you know they're out of material. How come you're always so aggravated? Yeah, he ought to elope with the water Nazi. They make a good pair. In fact, maybe that was her doing a voice. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. We've got the greatest goddamn thing in the world going on right here in our town at the beautiful New Mac Arena. And these people, what do they got to say about it?
Yeah.
Nothing. Absolutely, positively nothing. Because they refuse to learn. I will not have a good time. I will not get turned on to something good. I will not learn anything new. I'm a dunderhead and I like it that way. That's what they're saying. I'm a one-dimensional, myopic little dunderhead. I'm what this town is all about, is what they're saying. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil,
Yes, sir.
how you doing today?
Very good.
Listen, I'm a cop down here in South Florida. And this is the first time I ever called the radio station, but we're talking about this unruly parenting, and not to beat the story to death, but the problem is these days that parents want to be their kids' best friends. You know, I'm not that old. I'm 26 years old, and when I was growing up, you know, your father was your father and your mother was your mother, and you had your own friends. You didn't have to worry about them being buddy with you.
Right.
And these
And they taught you a little bit of respect. But before you'd go to an event like that, you'd already know. They would have already taught you to have respect for other people, and they don't kick people in the back of the head and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, and now I'm older now. Me and my father, we have a great relationship. But when I was a kid, I stepped out. You know, it was all over. It's just a problem. So I'm not going to take up any more of your time. I just wanted to comment on that.
Okay, pal. Have a great day.
You too.
Okay, we got 45,000 open lines here. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile implantation. Hello.
Yeah, hi, Neil. You're like a breath of fresh air.
Yes, I am.
I just a quick question for you. I moved up from Miami to Plantation this past year, and I don't really know too many places like, a middle-aged, regular.
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Coral Springs. Hello.
Hey, Neil, any connection between Wells going down and the Panthers winning like crazy?
No.
None at all, huh?
No. They were winning like crazy before he was sent down. That's why he was sitting in the seat.
I don't know. They were okay, but I think that they're having a much more successful season now with him going. I don't even know why they kept.
But sir, let me ask you this question. Let me say it again. Just like the guy that wanted to bellyache about Robbie and how he ended up playing so good. Well, why would we want to talk about Chris Wells? The team is spectacular. They're dynamic. Why would anybody with a brain call this show and keep beating over on Chris Wells? I'm surprised they're not calling about Stu Barnes again. One-dimensional people. Negatory, sour, negatory. He's gone, sir. He's long gone, and he ain't coming back. They admitted a mistake, a bad mistake. And he has absolutely nothing to do with what's going on right now, which is great. But all these people want to do is bitch and moan, and I'm the one that's aggravated, not me. Oh my God. This show, this is the most accurate reflection of what this town is all about. It has been for years. All you have to do is listen to these callers every day, and you know exactly what you're in for here. This is it. What you hear is definitely what you get. 9 minutes after noon at 560 WQAM.
The Panthers host the red-hot New Jersey Devils in a battle of division leaders Wednesday night. Join the new voice of the Panthers, Chick McDonald. He scored! And Randy Moeller for the action. Panthers preview starts at 7 here on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Okay, 13 past noon at 560. Well, let's put that press conference on the air right now. What do you say?
No.
No. That's yesterday's news, George. I mean, he's a good guy. Jim Tree Crawford, one of our engineers, came in here and the Hurricanes traded Keith Primo to the Flyers for Brindamore. That's yesterday's news. I mean, he meant well, but don't I already know that?
Uh-huh.
Am I on top of these things?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Wow. But if there's a press conference, let's put it on the air. What are they saying? Come on, let's... 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T. Anybody want to hear what they're saying?
No.
I don't either. It's yesterday's news. Here's a lady in Springfield. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, this is Cindy from Springfield, Mass.
Springfield, Massachusetts. All right.
Yeah, I talked to you. I was the first one to call you on the line.
Right.
Way back when. And I wanted to call and say hi. And say hi to my boyfriend, Mick, in Lantana.
Uh-huh.
And actually, he gave me your CD for Christmas.
Great.
Yeah. Great. And I wanted to wish him and his family a happy Australia Day. It's this Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So how you been?
Great.
It's cold here.
Yeah, and it's warm here.
Yeah.
And have a great day, sweetheart.
Okay, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
567-0560. We got 60,000 open lines here waiting on you. No waiting today. See, I was going to not take any calls today, but boy, I sure am glad that I did. Because otherwise we couldn't have heard from that guy in Fort Myers with that kid that needs to be spanked. Needs a whooping. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Just like if you're on a plane and you're unfortunate enough to have somebody with a little kid sitting behind you, a kid that's old enough to have legs long enough to be kicking the back of your seat. You see, if it's me and that happens, you just turn around and blow their crap away. Of course, you can't have a gun on a plane. That's the only problem with that. Even a water pistol. The only thing worse than kids like that is the parents who permit that to go on. Because if it weren't for those parents, it wouldn't go on. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello, you fat fag, you.
Speaking.
I got something for you. Get off your knees. I got your...
Yeah, I got something for you too, pal. 2 pounds. Here's Oakland Park. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
What's up? Great game the other night.
Yeah.
Panthers. Well, what'd you think about that call in the playoffs at all?
Terrible. Awful.
I mean,
the worst call in the history of any sport in that Tampa game yesterday. How in God's name does he overrule that?
If that's a catch, I mean, if that's
It is a catch.
If that's not a catch, what do they consider a catch anymore?
Yeah, I mean, the ball did hit the ground, but he had his hands around it. He had full control and possession. Summerall and Madden, and of course, Pat can't see anything because he's got one eye falling out of his head, but even they both knew it was a catch. That was a disgrace. And, at least it would have made the last 48 seconds exciting.
Oh, man, I tell you.
Because I'm telling you, that would have been the only excitement. That was the most ponderous freaking game. Jesus.
Yeah.
And thank God Tampa didn't get in there when you come right down to it. Can you see a Super Bowl with the way that they with that?
Hank, give me that one too.
With what?
He gave me that pick with the teaser.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, did you hear that, George? Hank gave that to him with a teaser. That's our poll question. Who do you like better today, the teaser or the beezer? You gambling people, don't you get it? Don't you understand? Can't you fathom that there are those of us who don't care about betting on sporting events? Can't you understand that?
No.
Want to bet? How much? 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. See, there I go again, though. I'm not going to let it get to me. I'm not. Because I don't want my BS back in my IBS. I mean, he starts out by making a good point, and it was a horrible call, and I forgot to mention that. It was grotesque and unacceptable. But then he's got to give me, who cares? I don't care whether you won money on it or not. Now, last couple of Mondays ago at Pompano Park, I bet the 7 over the 2-3-4, and the 7 broke at the start, and the 2 took a crap on the... I mean, who cares? Nobody cares. That's not interesting radio. It's swill. It's slime. It's mucus. God. Here's a mobile in Weston. Hello. Mobile in Weston.
Hey, how you doing, Neil?
Great.
Great. Got a question for you. What's the scoop with Tom Green's show anymore? They're just showing repeats all the time anymore.
Yeah. Well, he's busy. I don't know.
Well, what do you think is going to happen? Think you ever make it down here to South Florida and see us?
Do I think what?
If they ever make it down here to see us?
No.
Never.
He does most of the stuff up in Canada. That's where he's from, so most of it is done up there.
Oh, because I've been watching them for a while now, and I noticed it's all repeats.
Yeah. Well, that's a
great
problem.
show.
It is a great show, but the problem is that they just don't have enough different stunts, I guess, to fill up your show. In addition to which, MTV specializes in that anyway. They take something and they show it over and over and over again until it's coming out your ears.
I hear you. How are you feeling? Great?
It's sensational. Better than I have in a month.
Sorry for all these people on the phone today. You know how they are on Mondays.
Doesn't faze me, pal.
Just keep it up.
In one ear and out.
Show. I got everybody in my family listening, Neil.
All right.
Maybe we'll see you down at the track.
Have a great life.
All right, buddy.
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line, in one rectum and out the other ear. That's how it goes. Hey, you fat. Yeah. Those are people that are making like $4 or $5 an hour, people like that, you know? People who only wish that they could afford a real life, assuming that they would know what one is. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Neil, good afternoon. I have a comment about, well, first of all, that telephone system you guys have there sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay.
second, you know, it's I have a quick comment about that Elian crap.
Not on this show, you don't. 56705. Don't you understand? See that they all have hearing problems. Maybe the guy from the hockey game started ought to be talking to these people and going up about 3 inches away from their ear and shouting into their ear, "Hey, guess what? We're not talking about that, asshole." Well, which asshole are you talking about? Any other one you want, but not that asshole. No se permisa aquí. You got it? No way, Jose. We're not interested. We're tired of it. We got Elian coming out of our rectum ears. No mas. Tomas. Regalado or otherwise. Get out of our face. And by the way, go get your teeth done. Maybe Hank can hook some of those people up with a dentist, whoever he's going to today. Yeah, I got a good dentist. Maybe, although I wouldn't wish it on my dentist, send him over to see Dr. Gary.
Why?
No. Oh, God, I don't have to chop that off anymore. Thank God. You know Dr. Gary?
Why?
Great dentist. There's only one problem with Dr. Gary. Why? You know what that is?
He can't sing for shit.
Okay, let's go to Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. I was wondering if you just heard about what that fat butt Jose Botolto just did.
Sir, are you starting again with that? What did I just get through saying?
No. This is not about him. This is about him sending a letter to Janet Reno.
Sir, let me say it again. I am not discussing that crap today on this effing show. Do you understand?
No.
And no matter how much you try to present it, no matter how much whipped cream and cherries and nuts you put on it, the answer is still
no.
Let me say it again.
No.
I don't want to hear one more whisper about Jose Basulto, Lincoln Diaz Ballard, Ileana Ross, Leighton, and Rosanna Dan. I don't want to hear any of that crap. It doesn't have anything to do with my life or your life or the real world. It's crap. It's caca. It's the worst swill in the history of the human race. Even Mandich knows what it is.
Caca, poop, pissin'.
Right.
What else? What am I missing?
Not much. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
Hey, Neil, I wanted to bring up, I couldn't get you last week when we were on the subject of head cheese, but I just wanted to give a quick story. I owned a deli up in Boston.
Yeah.
And we had this guy come in, and we had quite a busy deli. We'd have 6 clerks at lunchtime behind making sandwiches, lines out the door. And we'd have this one guy who would come in at rush hour at lunchtime, and he'd order a liverwurst, head cheese, and you had to smear the liverwurst on the roll with extra mustard and onion. Now, if you know anything about the deli business, well, you know that liverwurst and head cheese will machines, the deli machines that'll tie them up because, it gets all over them, and then you got to clean the machines before you can make the next sandwich.
Yeah.
So this went on for 2 weeks with this guy coming in at the same time, the same sandwich every day. Finally, I got a hold of him. I said to him, listen, this head cheese, I said, the FDA, we're going to pull it out because it's not good for you. They found out that it'll do something to you. Well, the guy, so the guy finally, that's the only way I could stop him. I mean, it is the worst, the most disgusting, between liverwurst and head cheese.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't eat lunch for a couple of days.
I don't mind liverwurst, but to look at head cheese, how could anybody look at it and eat it?
Especially with liverwurst, Neil. I'm going to tell you something. If you ever smelt that sandwich, you would never eat it. It was terrible.
Yeah.
I just want to relate that story to you.
Thanks for the good news, pal. Nice job. Here's one of the guys in America trying to stamp out head cheese, okay? There are a lot of things like that. They might taste okay, but you want to close your eyes before you put it in your mouth. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. I think a lot of you guys out there know what I'm talking about. Catch my drift? Yeah. Have to close your eyes real tight. Hold on. Hold your breath. Hope for the best. Here's Miami. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
These calls are what it's all about. These fools that call. I sit here at a bench all day. I get to hear people talking to you, and it's the comedy hour.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that the goal of your show?
Yeah, that's the goal of my show.
A little entertainment out there?
Well, are you on a payphone or something?
No, I'm on a crappy business
Oh,
phone
man,
here
the
at
worst.
place.
I'd get a refund.
We're moving and selling all these phones and getting a whole new system soon.
Okay, us too. That's what I hear. Okay, have a great day, pal. Get a new phone. Something like that. 5670560. Yeah, the art of the phone. How about somebody out there making a phone that really works? Wouldn't that be great? With all the technology we got with TVs and HD TV and all this other stuff coming along, and phones just not good. Why should it be so hard? We get calls from overseas and they sound better than a lot of the calls we get from right here in town, from like 5 blocks up the road there. When the Jamaicans called in, they got their special on good weed.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Can't understand a damn thing they're saying, damn it. When those imperious Jamaican women start calling in. That's our poll question today, by the way. Who'd you rather hang out with, an imperious Jamaican woman or some young Cuban bitch? Like that Marisla, whatever her name is. Don't say it.
Who's got the better dope?
Oh, no question about that.
Yeah, man.
So anyway, let's find some good Colombians out there. And I'll say it again, I was wrong. The Colombians are generally very ugly people. I just met 1 or 2 exceptions years ago, and they kind of like stayed in my head. Here's a mobile in Hollywood. Hello. Mobile in Hollywood, yes, sir.
Neil.
Yes.
I just got to tell you that I got a little dish, and I love it. I don't have to watch any local news, none of that bullshit
right.
that's going on. And guess who called me today? The news. Taking a poll on that little piece of Schmidt that should go back to Cuba. Can you believe it?
5670560, pound 560 on the AT. Well, it wasn't his fault. They called him up to take a poll. And he said, give him a poll, like a fishing pole, and put him on a little rickety boat and send him back. Okay, goodbye. Bye-bye. Bye, Junior. And don't take that dog, because you know how to treat her right. Keeps holding that dog up by 20s. I'm sorry, I don't like that. I'm a dog lover. You don't hold a dog like that. You know, the only creature who would hold a dog like that would be El Anticristo would do that. That's what I read in the Bible. That's what the good book says. El Anticristo holds the dog up by like under the front legs and let all its weight hang down about its ass end.
Rectum.
Oh, that's bad. That's real bad. I think that's living proof right there that these people aren't teaching. Oh, sorry.
Wake up with the first team. Joe Rose, Jeff DeForest, and Steve Goldstein. Weekday mornings at 6. Only on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Oh, God, Neil.
I love The Sopranos each week on HBO. By my TV I'll be staying. Set up by Uncle June, Tony's mom's a loon. Now he knows who was betraying. He goes to therapy, takes Prozac daily. Wants to be with Dr. Melfi. Yes. There's one thing I know, I just love The Sopranos. They should win all 16 Emmys, 'cause Tony loves his ducky. The duckies, they did flee. The duckies, they did flee. Make and lonely. Him and Carmela live in New Jersey. They are family. Goes to Butterfinger. Naked girls that sing all of the time. Bing, bing, bing. They avoid the cops. They don't stop. I love the Sopranos. Oh yeah, I love them. We will see when Tony gets to see Big Pussy. His mommy ain't crazy. I want nobody. I know. I want nobody to miss this show. HBO, The Sopranos. Oh yeah.
Talk 31 at 560 WQAM. I forgot to mention, by the way, you can get the gefilte fish for the back of your car. It's got the fish sign, only it says gefilte in the middle. Right off the internet. Archie McPhee. Free gifts with every order, by the way. Archie McPhee, MCPHEE. And it says Gewalt gefilte. Now you can let everyone on the road know that you like to nosh on the gefilte fish. It says gefilte comes from the Yiddish word for stuffed because the fish skin was wrapped around the patty before baking. Hey, we just learned something today. How do you like that? The fish skin was wrapped around the patty before baking, and that's where the word comes from, gefilte. And then, of course, they put that smarmy snot around it in the jar, that gel, whatever the hell they call it. Oh, God. It looks kind of interesting, but it's not. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's North Miami. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Neil?
Great.
Listen, I was listening to you last week when you were saying that you had gone for that, they gave you that barium enema and everything.
Yeah.
I was passing blood, so I had went and got a checkup with a doctor. They sent me for that test and everything else, and they found that I had what's called internal hemorrhoids, and this doctor was pushing the laser surgery. The one thing that they don't tell you about is after the surgery, the procedure that they have to do to you, which is basically because of the development of scar tissue, that they have to stretch it back to its normal size. If I'd have known this, I would have tried to find another. So I had to go through 4 weeks of this having something inserted, and they used it's a tool that they use to stretch the scar tissue. Let's just say it was not.
They stuck a tool in your
rectum. Yep.
Wow.
And then the thing is, because it was a teaching hospital, I had to go through other people.
Oh no, teaching hospital? Oh no. There's nothing worse than letting people experiment with your
rectum. Yeah, it was the only one that the coverage, the medical coverage I had would allow me to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Another subject I want to touch on is the reason why all these old Cubans have this hatred for Fidel besides the government that's going on. My father was part of the old regime, and he said that what happened was a lot of times they had Fidel surrounded when they, when he was going through this revolutionary process. Yeah. And the reason they wanted him in is because Fidel came from a well-to-do family, and he was educated. And the people that had the money had a problem with Batista, being that he was of a slight darker hue. So when Fidel took over, he told them that they had 24 hours to get out of the country and 23 hours are up.
Mm-hmm.
All these people had to run out and leave everything behind. That they were going to have themselves a puppet ruler, and he just about chose. So this is why all these political
crazy people
over here have this hatred for him. Not to say that Fidel is the best thing that ever happened to Cuba. If you look at the history of the country.
Okay, listen. Have a great day. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Do we want to talk about Q?
No.
Oh. I mean, that was pretty interesting, the first part, but do we want to talk about Q?
No.
Tips? Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello. Okay. Nice talking to you, too. Here's Boca. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
With the Tom Green show, I heard that MTV fired him.
Wrong.
No?
No. Don't get sucked into those internet rumors, okay? It's totally,
I saw this on
totally untrue, sir. Let me say it again. He didn't dress up as Hitler at a bar mitzvah, and MTV didn't fire him, and it's bogus. It's another one of those stupid internet things.
Shameless request?
Yes, sir?
Britney Spears parody?
All right.
All right.
See ya. By the way, isn't that in here yet? What? The Britney Spears thing. He's talking about the one underage. Because it sure better be. I mean, that's from, look at that. It's not in there yet. I'll find it. It's on disc 138. What a memory I got. Have I got a memory or what, huh? It's not in there. called Underage is the name of it, George. It ain't in there. Trust me, believe me, I'm sharp today. Sharp as a matzo ball. Sharp as a piece of gefilte fish with a foreskin wrapped around it. I'll get to it. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Yes, you need it.
Yes.
I'd like to...
Okay, phony voice. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. I'd like to take a big berry of enemas, but I would go right ahead, sir. Be our guest, okay? Stuff that thing way deep in your rectum and have a blast, so to speak. Here's Hialeah. Hello.
Oh, hi, Neil. Enjoying the show.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I went through all those tests that you went through and had the answer was nothing. And then about 10 days ago, the doctor says, here, I'm going to put you on this Keyflex, 500 milligram, 3 pills a day. The turkeys, they smell like sulfur. You're not supposed to break them open or what have you. Neil, I'm cured. And I had it. Even one visit to the emergency room.
Yeah.
Keyflex 500 milligram. I can't believe it.
You've got to stick your spoon in it, lad. Don't
I
worry.
hear you, George. I hear you talking like that. Hey, enjoying the show.
Okay, thank you.
Easy.
Okay, ta-ta. He was saying...
You've got to stick your spoon in it, lad. Don't worry, it's not going to break.
We don't talk to too many people with that kind of an accent, do we? Which is probably just as well. Now, he's good. Good guy. He took his T-Flex, and I'm not taking anything. Am I going to take anything? No. Maybe a good dump every now and then can't hurt. I feel great today. I feel almost human, in spite of this place. Because I made up my mind this morning. Come in, the lights are all out, the fuses are blown, the phone is all screwed up. And I said to myself, hey, I finally made all this progress. I found out there's no major catastrophe going on in my body for an old fart, for an old fat fag who's really out of shape. Actually, it's a miracle that I'm doing this well. And so why the hell punish myself? Because Greg Reed's an asshole. And the Beasleys make him look good. What does that tell you? I mean, I'm not just saying that. It happens to be true. This man is a compulsive wannabe who has destroyed people's lives by pretending and, by maintaining things that are totally untrue. How's that other $1,150, by the way, from the OJ golf tournament? How's that money coming, huh? We ever going to see that? No. I mean, just knowing that he and his henchmen, he and his little inner circle jerk of people knew all about that OJ thing, that tells you right there that you're never going to get the truth out of this guy. He could tell you what day of the week it is, and you'd run to the calendar and look at double check. He could tell you it's raining outside, you'd run to the window and stick your thing out the window. Because he's a bullshit artist. That's exactly. So am I going to let a person like that destroy my life? No, just give me the check every couple of weeks, and I'll come in and do the best I can with the crap that you give me to do it. They got that nice studio over there, and just yards away from us. They got a big octagonal talk studio in there with 8 million microphones around it, all kinds of good stuff. Of course, they don't have their own phone there in a control room so they can communicate with the outer world. Because do they have it? No, because that might cost a few bucks. Don't you understand, folks? They just haven't got it. They haven't got the money. They're trying so desperately to be something that they're not, and that is big shots. And they are, where the I, where the O's supposed to be, they got an I in there. Instead of an O, they got a... Yeah, big brown one. 22 before 1 at 560 QAM.
The sports leader.
We love the leader.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Come on, baby. Come play with these titties. All right. How young is too young?
Tell me that you love my eyes, but I know that you keep on checking out my thighs.
Yes.
Don't blame you 'cause I'm very cute. Check out my breath, they're poking on my lips at you. You come on to me and whisper things in my ear, and it sounds soft. But if you wanna date me, move slow. There's things about me I don't think you know.
I like it.
I'm underage, 17. You should be scared of me, 'cause you could go to jail if you see with me. If I scream, you end up praising me. perfect. I bet my lips are free. Daddy called the cops last night. My breasts are perfect to see because I've had surgery. None of my skirts reach my knees. My butt just hangs right out
Rectum.
of my shorts. She's underage. She okay. You should be scared of her. Scared of me? And Rolling Stones been made her look dynamite. What a sight. She's looking mighty fine. She looks 25, but she's just a teen.
It's 12:44. She's legal age now. Let's hear it.
Oh!
She's old enough, man. I guarantee you she's doing somebody. A lot. Of course, we don't really know what it is or... 5670560, and I'm sure a lot of people out there are wondering. You know, people kind of like wonder about those things. 5670560, pound 560 on our AT&T wireless line. Come on, Whitney and Bure, Bure and Whitney. Any interest out there?
No.
Anybody know what I'm talking about?
No.
Anybody excited and whipped up to a frenzy?
No.
No. No. Very, very sad. Tragic. I feel so sorry for those of us, for this, the handful of us with an IQ bigger than our thumbnail in this town, that have got any kind of taste for life. This is not a place for people with a taste for life. That's why I keep telling you. Every chance I get on a plane, I go where there are living and breathing people, happy people, friendly people, exciting people, interesting people, erotic people, erratic people, something. Here it's, and even these people that are called, they can't stop. Like the guy that started with that story about Castro, and right away then he starts segueing, I don't want to talk about that. I don't care about Cuba. Even Philip Cuba, okay, from the Panthers. I don't care about him. He's small potatoes. We don't care. Doesn't affect my life. Doesn't have, there's not one moment of the day, unless I'm inundated on the media with it, which immediately I turn over to some other satellite thing out of this godforsaken town, and they're not talking about this crap. There's not one moment of the day when I think about those things. It has no impact on my existence on this planet. Hollywood, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for cutting that history lesson off about who's darker, Fidel.
Oh, for crying out loud. What the hell was that? I'll tell you, the darkest are those Aztec Indians with the bad teeth down there on Southwest 8th Street.
Let me reminisce and take you back a few years. I'm from out of town, and a friend of mine brought me to a place in Fort Lauderdale called September's or October's. Do you know a place like that? Is that still around?
September or October's?
That's the name of the
How about Jimmy January's?
Jimmy January's. No, I think it was September.
And what about it?
There's another place that was on 127th Street in Biscayne called the Rancher Lounge.
No, I have no idea what that is.
What's happened to this area?
Meaning what? What was the Rancher Lounge? What was that?
It was a great jazz club. It was a tremendous place.
Now what was this? 1842?
It was a few years.
Yeah.
You know,
so what does that mean, though? I mean, if it's there, it's there, and if it's not, it's not.
Well, I'm lost here. Where do I go? What
back
do I
where
do?
you came from. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. He's lost it. Sir, you're what it's all about. You're what I was just talking about. We already got 3 million people like you. We don't need any more. What do I do? Where do I go? The Rainforest Club. Go out in the rainforest. Go out in the goddamn jungle. Go out and play in the rain, in a rain puddle somewhere. I don't know what to tell you. This guy wants me to find him a life. Here's a mobile in Kendall. Hello.
Hello, Neil?
Yes.
I have bad news for you, man.
Yeah, okay. 5670560. I got even worse news for you. That dial tone you hear came from this end. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea. What did he say? I have no idea.
Hang up on me.
Oh, okay. Too bad we didn't hear that squeal, though. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Cooper City. Hello.
Ray and Pavel. Pavel and Ray. Victor. Ray and Pavel.
Yeah, that's a start. That's an improvement.
What a game, though, Neil.
Yeah.
We're going to kick the devil's ass Wednesday night.
I hope we have a crowd there, man. If we don't, I'm going to be pissed off. I'm going to get on the PA and bitch him out.
Let me tell you something, and that shows you how little one-note Charlie, like you say, all in this town is. The Dolphin season's dead and buried, and they're still talking. What are they talking about?
Danny. Is Danny coming back?
No. Who's going to be who cares who's going to be the defensive coordinator?
Oh, gee, that's exciting.
Why can't they talk about what's going on?
I can't think of anything more offensive than that.
I'll tell you what, the Panthers, I mean, you know, you ripped them a couple of years when they weren't doing it, but now, like I said, you tell it like it is.
When he was making bad deals and he made that one real bad trade,
right.
I ripped him an ass, and he deserved it. And he's lucky that he got another chance, and he's made the most of it. And the Bure trade was one of the best trades in history, and he picked up Whitney off waiver wires for almost nothing. And Hedeken was in that Bure trade, was phenomenal. He's done some good deals, and getting Vernon here was great.
And they're playing with balls. Look at
Pitlick. Yeah, Pitlick and Simpson, they're kicking some ass.
I mean, even the hits. I went to that Flyers game last Monday. Oh man!
Only Sveila's got to stop getting those stupid penalties like that stick in the face there near the end of the game. Gave him the power play, nearly gave the game away.
Hey, I had a question.
Gets a stick up in Joe Thornton's face right in front of the referee. Come on, Robert, cut the crap, sweetheart. Yes, sir.
You watched that Pittsburgh Philly game last night?
I forgot it was on. I saw like the last couple of minutes in the overtime. It was
little spear by Keith Jones. He's a dirty player, that Keith Jones.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey,
well,
Neil,
that's how Philly plays. They've always been a dirty team forever. They're a dirty, stinking team.
One quick question for Neil. If a player gets a game misconduct,
hope
he's
that
gone
Keith
for the
Primo
game.
divides that whole team and turns them into a pile of crap. What is it?
Once a player gets a game misconduct, he's gone for the game, right?
Right.
Okay, but there's no other suspension after that, or the team?
It all depends. If they review if he's done something, it depends on what he did.
Okay.
Depends on how many teeth he knocked out.
Okay, just check it. But Neil, the team is playing phenomenal. They got balls now. They're scoring. We got almost all the elements.
I
what
think the sports guys on this station better catch up. The only one that even mentions is Hank, and he's not even a hockey fan, but even he knows that there's something great going on over there.
Well, if they do talk about what they want to know is who they're dating.
Yeah, right. How you doing with the ladies? Have a great day, pal.
Later.
Yeah. How you doing with the ladies? Oh, that Joe Rose, man. He's the Antichrist. Make no mistake about it. I guarantee you ain't no tight end anymore. That's what I'm hearing. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. We got the out-of-town line waiting on you for the whole world, the whole universe. We're sitting here on pins and needles, aren't we?
No.
Waiting for that line to ring. It could be something good. 877-785-6345. It could be from Lucerne, Switzerland. It could be a call from goddamn Geneva, New York, or Switzerland. Whatever you like on that line 9. Oh, God. No, it's good that I'm not eating in here, and then you'll pick up the same thing, and no more food in here. Stop eating. Good. Stop being sick all the time. You're another one. You're sitting there eating that crap and running down the hall, running down your leg, running.
Show.
Huh?
I can't go during the
There
show.
have been times.
Once.
Well, there once was more than
enough.
enough.
Now that nobody's here anymore.
What do you mean by that?
Joe's not around anymore.
Well, what do you mean Joe's not around? Where is he? What does he do here now? As much as
thing.
Huh?
Weekend stuff, updates, the occasional.
Well, does he get paid by the hour? Or is he on a salary?
No, hour.
He gets paid by the hour?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Only
what kind of income could he have now?
Hey, he's no Josh Friedman, man.
Of course, he turned down that job with Igor. I can't blame him for that, because that had something to do with the water Nazi. He didn't want to work with that, something like that. And the salespeople? The whole sales department? Like Fat Boy? How can he still be here, by the way, Fat Boy? I'm down there this morning. The door wasn't open. Nobody could get in. So like Adam and there's like 4 of us standing out there waiting for somebody to open the goddamn door to get into work, which is really a great par for the course. And here's Fat Boy comes. Hey, Pally. And I should have known at that point that the lights would be out in this place. I should have known there would be something really bad to start my week by seeing that tub of turd. Here's the mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Of course, you're the one that always hated them. Yes, sir.
Am I on?
Yes, sounds like you.
All right. First time caller.
All right.
One of the most hardcore hockey fans there are. And the one thing that really upsets me is...
What is that, sir?
The Miami Herald.
Yeah.
And nothing's in it about our Panthers.
Right. Win that big game Saturday night overtime, one of the best games of the year, and you have to turn to page 12 in the sports section yesterday to find anything about it in the Herald. Just unacceptable.
I'm jumping up and down, screaming. I'm waiting to read something in the paper, nothing.
And last time I checked, neither St. Louis or Tennessee plays their games in this town, do they? With this big Super Bowl crap? Neither one of them plays here is of any interest to people here, except the gamblers maybe. They don't play here.
8 pages.
8 million pages on a stupid bull crap.
Yeah.
And last time I checked, they're playing in Atlanta this year. Is this Atlanta?
No.
So who the hell cares?
Bada bing.
Right.
All right. I just had to get that off my chest.
See you Wednesday, man. Wednesday night, the New Jersey Devils. I'm going to tell you something right now. You people better be driving to the Mac Arena to the ticket office right now. I take back what I said Friday. I take it back. I'm not willing to sit back and accept this. I'm going to keep, because you know something? I can't force anybody to go. But God damn it, I'm still going to give my opinion. I think it sucks. I think it stinks. And I think that we ought to keep track. You know how when you go into some places, like in some record stores, they have those cards, you know, and you punch so many punches and you get a free one or whatever, a discount? I think they ought to do the same thing with the Panthers. And you ought to have some kind of a card, and you have to have gone to at least one regular season game before they'll sell you a ticket for the playoffs. Yeah. And if you can't show a card with at least one punch in it, we're going to punch you in the
Rectum.
puss. How do you like that, huh?
Oh!
Great idea. All these bandwagon jump. We line the Panthers, and they're waving their little banners out the window like a bunch of little school kids. Those people suck. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Gua, ¿cómo está? Neil, if this is so bad, why don't you move to San Francisco?
Maricon. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. Yeah, it was a Cuban. He's a Maricon. Out of town line, 877-785-6345. 877-785-6345. Hate San Francisco. Can't stand it. Freezing. Here's a mobile in Tamarack. Hello.
How you doing, Neil?
Okay.
Okay, I'm a hockey fan for a lot of years. I'm a Bruin fan for 40 years. I went to the game on Saturday. I only go when the Bruins play, and I'm going to tell you why.
Yes.
Okay? I had people behind me. I had a bunch of drunken Cubans. When they...
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in South Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hi, how are you? This
Okay.
is a first-time caller. I have a football question for you.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Yeah, Neil, let's talk about the point spread.
Yeah, huh? Spread this, huh? Spread your...
Rectum.
Sounds like you got a lot of experience. This is why I like it. 8 million calls, man. Not quantity, not quality, but quantity. 8 billion calls. Let's just keep pouring them through there for a Monday. We already took more calls than we have in the last 17 Mondays in a row. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Right. Don't expect no quality here, because they can't have an intelligent conversation about these things anyway, because they don't know what I'm talking about. So the best you can hope for is like that. Yeah, spread them, Dano. That's what Jack Lord always used to say, and then they had to cancel the show. 4 minutes before 1 at 560 WQAM.
Jim Mandich talks sports weekends right here on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
It's not just the 1 to 2 hour, it's a phenomenon.
Started the milk and gave it a start. Inhaled the gas and sounded like domino stars. Yes, I did. Picked up a mic and I started singing. The people looked and the people stared. What's this about? So I sucked more gas and I got a contract. I'm on the radio, you see me on MTV. Yes, you can. But watch it on TV and I start feeling. Lost a bit, I found a bit. Why I sound this way? We're making money, cause we think so funny. It's so Elian to sing like we do. Our voices are fake, and we get a headache. Your ears will be ringing after you hear us singing. Cause we suck, yeah. So passive and I'm so I can sing high tunes. We sing so out of tune, but no one can tell. Yeah, people hear us, but only us can hear us. People come to our concerts, and we are making their ears hurt. Cause we suck, yeah.
Yeah, they suck all right. 1 o'clock at 560 WQAM. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Palm Beach, Fort Myers, the entire free world can call toll-free 877-785-NEIL, 785-6345. Here's Sunrise. Hello.
Hey, what's up, Neil?
Yes, sir.
As far as people that are living down here, they're obviously they have problems, but I was thinking about maybe moving to Arizona or Nevada, and I'll just hang up and listen to your comments.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Season ticket holder from the beginning. $32.50 to $65 for a lower bowl seat.
Yeah.
I drive up
Pretty
there
steep.
from I drive up there from Pirine for the games.
Yeah.
And I think it's great the way they're gelling, playing together. You can't say enough about Kozloff and Bure, but I noticed in the game the other night and all season long, you got these guys that are making a difference. Ryan Johnson.
Yeah.
And Stewart. God, those guys got big hearts.
Right.
Man, a little guy like Johnson, he's in there just tagging people.
He's tremendous. He played a hell of a game the other night.
Hey, I love your show. Way to call it like you see it.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson, that kid's, he's a player, man. He's a tough little kid. Dug the puck out in the corner and got it loose, and Whitney goes in there and picks it up and slides it right across. A great pass, as Harry Neal would say, a lovely little pass to Mark Parrish, who sticks it in the net.
Oh!
It's real excitement, man. And if some of you deadheads out there, okay, so the price is steep. So get you the Panther Pack. Get some of the nosebleeds, okay? It sure never kept any people away from that Orange Bowl. And believe me, that place is a toilet. You couldn't find one, but it is a toilet. And all these people that are reminiscing and living in the past, oh, gee, we should be playing in the Orange Bowl. The Orange Bowl was a disaster. You had to take along Preparation H just for the hemorrhoids you'd pop after sitting through just the first half. Plus, forget about finding a toilet. A disaster. Plus getting ripped off to pay on those crazy Cubans park, on their lawn down there to park around the Orange Bowl. Here is a place that's clean, it's safe, it's beautiful, it's spacious. Go hold up a goddamn convenience store and get you some money and go over there, okay, Wednesday night, and stop with all the excuses. This is a town built on excuses. And if there are two things I don't want to hear anymore, one is Elian and two is excuses. Those two, that's our New Year's resolution. It's only the 24th of January, a little bit late, better late than never. No mas. Here's West Palm Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Accentuate the positive. You know, the best news they should have shown on TV this weekend was the great weather we're having. Everybody's freezing their nuts off, and we're beautiful down here.
Yeah.
4, 6, and 10 is criminal. I couldn't wait to get back up here to see 5 and 12 to see all the Palm Beach murders and robberies. The guy in Fort Myers, what he should do is correct his kids like the gardener did to his 2 twin girls in The Shining. And in closing, Brother Aquinas, Jesus!
Oh, man. 5670560, pound 560. I feel great, man.
Oh!
I got the BS out of the IBS. And I'm not saying it's not going to come back. I don't know, because I haven't eaten anything. Have I eaten anything all day?
No.
No. I had those baked beans with onions yesterday because I'm going to bring that book in tomorrow. That 20/30, whatever it is, fiber and fat and fiber. See, I think where it is, because, you know, the fact is that none of these people, nutritionists, doctors, they don't know crap. They don't know Schmidt. All they do is guessing. And one person says, oh, yeah, drink wine every day. And the other one says, oh, no, it's going to give you something, you know, hemorrhoids, whatever. Everybody tells you something different. But the problem was when they said stop eating the fat, they replaced it with sugar, with refined carbohydrates. That was the problem. There's no way in the world you should be eating a lot of fat. No way, Jose. Because fat calories are they're the easiest ones to, what are the hardest ones, however that works. How does that work? It takes more energy to burn up the carbohydrate calories than it does the calories from fat. You follow what I'm saying? So the fat calories just lay there. Or is it the other way around? Well, something like that. See, even I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm having a good time doing it. Low fat, but fiber. You got to have your fiber. Because then you won't have to take all these goddamn tests that I take, because fiber...
It'll make you
That's right. And that's the most important thing in life. Don't ever forget it. Just ask the people in Tamarack. They'll tell you. Here's Kendall. Hello.
Hey, Neil. Great show.
Just ask my mother. She'll tell you all of it. She knows her Schmidt. Yes, sir.
Man, some of those last calls you had were something else.
There's something else. That's right. It's Monday, man.
What idiots. 2 things. I went to the game the other night. What a fantastic place that was.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful.
And what a great game.
Sure was. I was
Tremendous.
so happy to see them win the way they did.
Yeah.
And second thing is I'm moving up to Sunrise, so I'm out of Kendall as of
nice
today.
move, pal. You're moving in the right direction.
That's what they tell me.
It's a good start.
That's what they tell me. Well, anyways, just wondered.
Just bring along your Metamucil and your in your bag when you come to Sunrise. Just be prepared.
Well, great show, Neil. Have a good one.
Okay, back to you.
Take care.
There's a guy that's making the right move from Kendall. With all due respect to my friends down there in Kendall, Kendall blows. Huh?
Hate it down there.
Oh, it
Can't
blows.
drive.
I mean, there's some nice people down there, but Kendall,
the whole family
even when
can't
I
drive.
lived there 100 years ago, it was so congested. It was impossible. It was impassable and impossible. And on those occasions now and then when we have to do an appearance down there, oh, man. You get on Kendall Drive and you ask yourself, what am I doing here? Why did I make this move? What did I do wrong in my life to deserve this? Sunset, Kendall Drive, that thing called the Dixie Highway. Dixie Highway. Well, what kind of a highway is it? Who ever heard of a highway that's got like a traffic light every 2 blocks? Well, what kind of a highway is that? The Dixie Highway. Only in this town could they peddle crap to the public like that. Oh, it's the Dixie Highway. Could have fooled me. Looks like some other street with a bunch of traffic lights every block or 2. Dixie Highway. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Good afternoon, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
Hey, so that guy that makes $70,000, get a few people together and split some tickets. It's he's making excuses for why he can't go to the game.
And he won't sit in these seats. He won't sit in those seats. He's real picky. So just another excuse.
Right, and I make much less than that, and I split some seats, and I go to as many games as possible, at least half of them.
Right.
The kid behind me was about 6 years old. Not only did he spill Coke and kick the back of my seat, but the whole game he's yelling, "Boston sucks! Boston sucks!" Why doesn't his dad, shut him up? The kid was yelling, "Boston sucks" the whole time.
What you should have done is turn around and slapped him right in the puss.
Really? And
Dad was big.
I thought the team looked a little bit tired at 7 games in 11 days. I thought they were a little tired, but they did play well.
Yeah, the first period was pretty slow, but once they got going there, it was great.
Yeah, they were. And now one question: do regulation ties count in the playoff scenario ties, a tiebreaker thing?
What do you mean?
Well, do the regulation ties when it comes to?
Well, I'm sure. I mean, that would have to be so minute. It would have to be like a 10th tiebreaker. I really don't know if they do or not, but I can't imagine they would ever get that far.
Yeah, it would be really down a low priority.
Right, it would be about the 600th tiebreaker.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Can I have a shameless request?
Yes, sir.
Dick between the thighs?
Okay.
Thanks.
Now, does that mean he wants to hear the bid, or is it 5670560 pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line? What did he say? He didn't really say that. Did he say that?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I must be in a really good mood. I just sat there and... Did you hear what he said?
No.
Oh, good.
The Panthers host the red-hot New Jersey Devils in a battle of division leaders Wednesday night. Join the new voice of the Panthers, Chick McDonald. He scored! And Randy Moeller for the action. Panthers preview starts at 7 here on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
If you haven't logged on to eBay, then first of all, you're a wuss. And second of all, you missed out on the opportunity to bid on discarded items inside the world's largest cyber trash can. I just purchased a rusted handlebar from a girl's bicycle, and it only cost me 10 times as much as if I found it rummaging through a fly-infested junkyard. Millions of nerds, geeks, dweebs, and dorks have checked out the really awesome collection of garbage that you've never be able to find anywhere else. And for good reason. I just paid $300 for an Amagi Takagi rookie baseball card, and we all know who he is. Yes, there's screen after screen of classified ads, hawking crap that you wouldn't take money for if someone gave it to you. So if you're in search of all that stuff people wouldn't pay a plug nickel for at their neighbor's garage sale, then you need to log on to eBay today.
Okay, 12 minutes after 1 at 560 WQAM, 5670560 pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. It's on 96, George, isn't it? We're looking for that bit. I can't even think of what the hell it's really called. One moment, please. Well, you look. Okay, let's do a Hollywood call. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, guy?
Cut 24. Yes, sir.
Did you happen to see the article this morning, Sentinel, on Sunrise luring new businesses into the city?
No.
Cash lures more firms to Sunrise. Isn't this the same town a while back that give everybody a hard time about what kind of signs they can hang up and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, it says in the year 99, they got 31 new businesses brought in. They're trying to lead everybody in Broward County as far as bringing the new businesses in.
Okay, thanks. Whatever. Did anybody know what he was just talking
No.
about? No. But at least they gave me time to look for that bit. Here's a fax from Eric at our website, neilrogers.com, which says maybe this is why you can't get any new equipment that works. For the record, did Greg say he would get you a new as opposed to used phone system? I knew he said February 14th, but what year did he say? Right. Oh, and here's another thing about this thing that we can't talk about on the air. FindWhat.com receives $3 million. $3 million investment from Beasley Broadcast Group. Agreement provides national radio advertising and online marketing for FindWhat.com. Can they afford any money for us?
No.
No. All these stations that they're buying, all this other phony baloney that they're doing, can't find 2 nickels to rub together for us. The only way you get anything out of these people, you have to threaten them. You have to keep threatening them and threatening them and threatening a lawsuit and taking them to court and then finally, oh, okay. Which is always very pleasant and, of course, gets your IBS going crazy again. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm standing on the top of my roof here, and if I hear one more word about this little Cuban boy, I'm going to jump.
Oh, you mean Elian?
Yeah, if I hear one more word, I'm going to jump
Elian
straight.
Gonzalez?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump straight on the
You mean
ground.
the little kid who is maybe going to go back and maybe he's not
Yeah,
going to.
and they're
What are you
trying to get
waiting
it
for?
to
Come on, let's go. People are hoping. They're waiting. I tried my best. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Sanibel. Hello.
Yeah, Neil, speaking of the lousy Beasleys, cutting Hank off at 4,
Yeah.
putting on this ignoramus who didn't even know when the Buccaneers had 3 games left in the season what the final 3 games of the year was. Anyway, they were broadcasting, I don't know if it was Wednesday or Thursday last week, I was out in the Lexus and I put it on Neil, and it wasn't coming in clear, so I went and got this 750IL BMW, and they were broadcasting on 76.7 AM, those idiots, all day long.
They're off,
Anybody that
they're off
couldn't tune
frequency?
it finally. Anybody that couldn't tune it finally was having a buzz in their ear.
Yeah.
I don't know if they reset them every day at 5 a.m. or what, but these idiots had it off.
Probably cheaper to broadcast a little bit down the dial.
No engineers.
Okay, thanks for the good news. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line, 877-785-6345 on the worldwide line, 877-785-NEIL. Got it? You got that?
No.
I still don't know that number. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil?
Yes, sir?
How you doing, Neil? First-time listener. Caller.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, Neil, I got to tell you something. That guy that just called a few minutes ago about Elian, and I know you don't want to hear it.
I'm not going to talk about it.
Okay, let's not talk about it. Just put yourself in my
let me say it again. I'm not talking about it.
Okay, I'm in the middle of all this because I live right in that house, towards the house of this.
Yeah.
And you should see the things that go, daily there. Neil?
Yeah.
So, what do you think about that? What should I do? And on top of that, they're bringing the grandmothers now.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. What song was that started out like that? What song was that? Get a Job?
A whole bunch started.
Book of Bible. Yeah. Get a job with a silhouette. That'd be a good idea for you, sir. Get yourself a job. Won't have so much time on your hands. Here's a lady in Juno Beach. Hello.
Hey, I'm listening to your show on the web. I got you on.
Yes, ma'am.
But your web page, neilgod.com,
Mm-hmm.
I can't get it up.
Because it doesn't exist. It's neilrogers.com.
Oh, okay.
That's probably a good reason why.
Well, neilrogerson.com.
Right.
I will go there. But also, I just wanted to compliment you on your sound bites. You throw in there like the nose and all the other stuff.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No.
Well, no, there's
no. Yeah.
All the other ones
All
too.
the other ones,
I
too.
mean, you got a whole case there.
A Schmidt load, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm looking at your mug on the web right now.
Well, that's a good way to stay on your diet.
Yeah, isn't it though?
Yeah.
It's pretty.
Pretty gruesome.
With a big stogie.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of stogie is that?
Probably a free one, I would imagine.
I'm
Chocolate
sure it
from
was.
Nick's. Well, have a great day, sweetheart.
All right, you too.
Have a great life.
Bye.
Bye-bye. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. I'm going to light me up a stogie right here in the studio and start smoking, okay? Oh, it's a non-smoking building. You, okay? Bafangula. This ain't a building. This ain't a studio. This is a turlet. Let me say it again. That first day that I came, when Norma Kent brought me in here like 2.5 years ago for the guided tour, and I saw all that schmutz on the carpet and the schmutz on the walls, and I thought, Jesus, what kind of a toilet? What kind of slobs are these people? I mean, I'm a slob, but I'm like high class compared to this. And here we are 2.5 years later, and they got a little bit, there's some baseboard out there on the floor, and they got a little bit of molding and a couple of doors painted, and it's still a piece of crap. You walk through there and you hold your breath. But they're busy, they're on this, they're buying this website, they're doing this, and they're buying these stations, and they're all over the place. They don't give a crap because that's the way they are. They're a bunch of grave robbers. They expect you to work in a toilet because they expect you to be just as bunch of slobs as they are with no self-respect. That's the one of Beasley's. No self-respect. What kind of a person would walk around looking like they were sleeping in a dumpster for 2 weeks if they had any self-respect? Here's a lady in Chicago. Hello. Or I'm on the wrong line. Was I on the right line? Hello.
Neil, God.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you?
Okay.
I'm freezing my ass off up here.
Yeah. We're not.
I know.
Beautiful. It's like 75 in the shade.
I know.
Great.
I know, but I do live in a real city now.
Yeah, we don't.
I know.
So it goes to show you life ain't perfect. You can't have it all.
That's right. Take the bitter with the sweet.
We're down here to prove that just because the weather's good don't mean you're going to be happy.
That's true. I'm glad to see your IBS is better.
My IBS, I got the BS out of IBS. I feel great.
All right. That's what you need to do.
I think I'm going to go home and eat some more beans this afternoon.
You should. Man, just
Get
clear
that
you
fiber
out.
going. Get that
Clear you
fiber.
out.
Push it through you.
Your website's pretty awesome, man. I have a
It
question for you. Why isn't squirt squirt on one of your noises? I missed it.
Haven't gotten around to it yet.
Yeah.
We're doing it alphabetically.
We're working on it. And as soon as we're done,
squirt,
you'll hear it.
That's the best one, man.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Just wanted to tell you that you're great. I used to live down there, and you're the only thing I miss about that.
That's what everybody says. That's what they all say. I was in Vegas last weekend, and I saw this couple from down here, saw me on the elevator, gave me a big hello, and I said, the only thing we've been living in Vegas for 5 years, the only thing that we miss is your show.
I'm telling you, man, you are it.
I'm it.
You're the Schmidt.
I'm it.
Okay, thanks.
Have a great day, sweetheart.
Dennis, you're a douchebag.
Okay.
Bye.
I'm the Schmidt head, man. That's what they all say. Whether they like me or hate me, I'm walking Schmidt. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Bure and Whitney and Bure. Come on, let's go. Let's get pumped up for that game on Wednesday. What do you say?
No.
Some of you lunkheads that work on this station on the sports shows, you ought to be embarrassing these people to get their ass out there and stop dwelling on a goddamn past. Licking their goddamn wounds about an embarrassing 62-7 loss. Oh, who's going to be the defensive coordinator? And can we be any more offensive than that game? And blah, 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 and Danny this and that. You're a terminal. You're ponderous. Like I said, even the Elian stuff is scintillating compared to that. And that's swill. Garbage. Man, it is duty is what it is. And it's great compared to that one-note Charlie crap. Danny. Just get out your blow-up doll and have a great time, okay, and get out of our face with that swill. Here's a mobile in Jupiter. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
You stole my thunder. I was going to say, if those morons in the morning talked at least 10% of the time what they do with the Dolphins.
Yeah, and that Geldy who's on the payroll with the Panthers, he gets paid to do that stuff. Every time I turn it on for 4 or 5 minutes, which as long as I can take it, they're hawking the same damn tired crap, and I go right back to my music.
Oh, and then it's, should they go to the European League and get a quarterback, and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, it worked out real well with Lawrence Phillips, didn't it? Get a great player from the European League.
Good God, they drive you nuts. And they would educate the public a little bit, and maybe, it wouldn't be a one-force
and if they have
town.
somebody on there that they can have an intelligent conversation with, except for how you doing with the ladies, then maybe they might learn something about the game. How you doing with the ladies?
Real quick, Neil, I got a real quick story for you. I couldn't call you Thursday and Friday. You guys are pretty busy. About 10 years ago, I had a real bad stomach problem. I was schmitting myself, throwing up, fever. I go to the hospital. They get me in there, take my appendix out. I wake up the next morning, doctor goes, well, it wasn't your appendix, and we don't know what it was. $5,000 later.
How do you like that?
How about that?
So in other words, it was probably IBS, and they went ahead and took your appendix out.
Hey, you know what he said? He goes, well, you don't really need it anyways.
That's great. That's great.
You have a great day, Neil.
Have a great life. I'm surprised they didn't cut out his so you don't need that either. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Let's go. We love you, Panthers. Come on, let's get on the bandwagon. What do you say?
No.
Let's get with it and stop at the excuses. Just like when I was asking, that's an interesting thing. When I was sitting here for a couple of days asking, how come people aren't showing up, and I had virtually nobody calling. You want to know why? They have no excuse. They have no excuse because they have no interest. They have no nothing. They have no motivation. They won't get off their dead ass. I'm an old doddering fool, okay, 57 years old. Do I have to have 8-9 hours sleep a night? No. So if the game runs in overtime and I get home, of course I live 3 minutes away, which doesn't hurt. But how about all the years in Miami? Took me 35, 40 minutes to drive home from there. How much sleep do you need before you get your little ass out of bed in the morning and go to work the next day or whatever you're going to, or to school or whatever? Oh, gee, it's a weeknight. It's bedtime. It's Betty bye. Bunch of pussies. That's what they are here. Pussies. Here's Miami. Hello. Miami with a noisy mobile. Yeah, I think they got sucked in. Sucked into the vacuum cleaner. Sounded like a Kirby to me. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. Here's a mobile implantation. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
I'm waiting for Neil.
You're speaking to him.
Oh, hey, Neil. I just wanted to tell you, I'm really sick of this Elian Gonzalez crap, too. I think us here in America should take it.
Oh, how great. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Here's a mobile in Naples. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
This is for the guy on the roof, if he's still there.
Mm-hmm.
He's the baby Jesus, I just know it.
It won't work. It won't work. He ain't jumping. Is he jumping?
No.
Another one. Another all talk, no action. We got so many of them down here. 4,000 open lines here at the moment. No waiting. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. It's the $55 billion challenge. And by the way, please don't tell me about that Regis show, that millionaire. Oh, that thing is so, it's already got to be on the way out. I was channel surfing last night, and I thought, gee, this is on again, and I went right on by. No interest. See, if they weren't giving away the $1 million, that's the only thing, because we have so many greedy bastards around these days, is that it's $1 million. Then they got the other one, greed, where they can win up to $2 million. How about $50 billion? It's a bad show. If you want to watch a good show, watch that game show network like Bill O'Brien and I do. That's it. That's where the good shows are. The $100,000 Pyramid. That's a great show. Not a good show, a great show. The old Family Feud, back before Richard Dawson got senile. Great show. Card Sharks. I watched Card Sharks again yesterday. Tremendous show. With Jim Perry. You ever see when they bring these guys back out, like Tom Kennedy, who's like 172 years old?
Yeah.
He looks like those banana boat people with the yellow teeth. Hey, he used to be great on that show. My cousin, his brother was Jack Norris. Is that correct? You don't know? You don't know
I know Jack Norris.
You don't know your game show, mister. Huh?
It's been ages since I watched it.
Jack Norris.
I was a little kid. I didn't pay attention to who was
I think that was his brother or stepson, something like that. His ward. Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes.
What's up? Hey, I'm going to Vegas in about 2 weeks, and I'm sure I'm going to have to take a crap. Can you recommend any good toilets?
Yeah, there are toilets all over town.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, toilets all over the place. In fact, just take a dump in it. In fact, why do you think they call it craps? Right there in the casino. They got a special section for craps. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line, 126 at QAM.
This is 560 QAM. Kim Bocamper talks sports.
All right.
Ends right here on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
MONTAYSUCKN. She looked like a lady, walked like a lady.
What the hell was that? Oh, no. There must be schmutz on it, okay? One moment, please. Oh, look at how scratched up this one is. Man, this has got scratches. I think Josh Friedman's been chewing on this thing. Oh, look at that. Look how scratched up that disc is. I'll do my best to wipe it off in the disc, too, but have you got one in there?
Which one?
It's 96?
No.
You don't? This is the only one we got? Oh, stand by. This could be really desperate. We might have to borrow one from somebody if this thing ain't going to work. One moment, please. Come on, queue up already, you piece of turd. Cross your fingers and legs and pray.
She looked like a lady, walked like a lady, talked like a lady, but I got wise.
Yes.
There's a dick between the thighs. Oh, yes, there is a dick between the thighs. Ooh. You showered me with kisses. I thought you were my queen, but I noticed something funny. I saw the bulge in your jeans. She looked like a lady, walked like a lady, talked like a lady, but I got wise. There's a between her thighs. Oh, yes, there is a between her thighs. You were my perfect lover, but how I was surprised. Not only do you have one, but you're not circumcised?
Oi!
You look like a lady, walk like a lady, talk like a lady, but I got wires. There's a dick between her thighs. Oh, yes, there is a dick between her thighs.
131 at 560 WQM. I guarantee you, Janet Reno's got a no question about that. Probably a big one. Anyway, now these people just won't give up. Here's a fax. Basulto is crying, and as soon as I see that, this is probably the same guy faxing me this to try to call. Do I care?
No.
I don't care if it's on the fax machine, if it's on the phone, if it's a note under the doorstep. I'm not interested. I don't care. And those of you who are obsessed with this crap, you're just as bad as the people that are participating in it. Give it a rest. Find a life. Get something else to Hakachinik about, okay? I don't care. He can say whatever the hell he wants, blah, 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 like that. No interest. Oakland Park, hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if I could stay on for a couple of seconds here before you hang up, without,
Well, what does that mean?
Because you won't listen to anybody. If something doesn't go your way...
Sir, I listen to anybody who's got
Neil,
something to say.
Neil, listen. I want to talk about the constant badgering of the callers and the talking about the Panthers. Hello?
What does that mean?
What you say that this is not a sports show, but you continue talking
No,
about
sir,
a sport that nobody cares
It's the Neil
about.
Rogers show, and that's what
Nobody
I'm
cares
interested in.
about
You know
bunch
something?
of
Then
people
find another
hating.
show, sir. Find another show, because I'm going to continue doing what I've been doing for many, many, many years, talk about the things that I'm interested in. So if you've been listening, which I'm sure you have, you already know that, the badgering of the callers. See, I'm not interested in critiques. I already told you that. If you want to have a conversation, which obviously you're not capable of doing, then say something. Don't give me a song and dance about what I should talk about and nobody cares. You know something? I care. Now, if nobody cares, how come all these years, all these people have been listening? How come that's possible, sir, if nobody cares? And you know something? If nobody does care, that makes it even worse. That's even sadder. That's even more pathetic. It's the only good thing I can mention going on in this town right now, the only positive thing we got going, and you have the chutzpah to call me and tell me stop talking about it because nobody cares. No, you don't care. That's the problem. You don't care. Because you're a moron. Because you're a one-dimensional simpleton. Why don't you get your goddamn Dan Marino blow-up doll out right now and hope the two of you have a great life together? Because that's all you people know. Talk about chutzpah. And what have I told you? As soon as they start out, don't hang up on me, but you know it's going to be an asshole. Because if a guy's got anything to say, I listen, sometimes too long. But as soon as you want to start giving me a song and a dance about how to do this and how to do that, if you don't like what I'm talking about on the show, sir, find yourself some other hobby. Take up parcheesi, mahjong, Russian roulette. Be great. You sound like you'd be real good at it. Here's a mobile in Weston. Hello.
Neil,
Yes, sir.
you tell him. You're absolutely right.
Screw him. How you talk about chutzpah? That's the ultimate chutzpah. Somebody calling up a talk show and telling me what I should be talking about.
But I think his stupidity is even greater than his chutzpah. So, anyway, I don't know if you have been following, and if you haven't and you don't care, that's fine. But this thing going on in Miami that with the sit-in and about Governor Bush and his ending of affirmative action, and secretly.
Yeah.
Are you aware of that?
Well, what do you mean ending it secretly? What does that
Well,
mean? Ending it secretly?
I
There's
just
no
read
secret to it.
I just read about the thing in the Herald yesterday, and they were saying.
Well, what do you mean you just read about it yesterday? The thing happened. The sit-in happened last week.
I was not reading the news last week, but all I'm saying is I thought it was courageous that these people sat in and got him to agree to public hearings. I just didn't know if you had.
I don't think it was courageous at all. And number two, I think that he's a weak-kneed bastard. Okay, I happen to agree with him. I'm vehemently opposed to affirmative action, and I don't think it was courageous at all.
I don't even understand the difference between his plan and what exists. I couldn't understand it.
In addition to which, if his plan isn't implemented, this guy that wants to put it on a ballot to outlaw affirmative action is going to go ahead and do it, and they're going to wind up doing it anyway. Affirmative action is like a dinosaur, sir. It's history. It's gone. It's adios. Bye-bye affirmative action. If you can do the job, you're hired. If you can't, too bad. If you belong in college, you can get in. If you're not qualified, you're not getting in. Just because your skin color happens to be this or whatever else. Period. I'm sick of that crap. Oh, well, you owe me something because 200 years ago, tough crap. Tough cookies. Probably the only thing, as long as he's in that office, that I'll ever agree with him on is affirmative action is a cancer. It's a blight. It's unacceptable. And he caves in. Oh, okay, well, we'll have hearings and we'll to pacify the Schwarzers, that's all. The answer is
no.
Get over it. Get a brain, okay? Put away the basketball and get a brain. Put away the goddamn boombox and the basketball and the goddamn crack cocaine and get a brain. And go out there and compete on an even level. There's all kinds of opportunities there to learn, you know? You got your school, you got your internet, you got all kinds of things called books. Maybe somebody could read some to you. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hi there, sir.
Yes, sir.
You know, in Augusta, Georgia, they have...
Uh-huh. That's the Red Wing fan. The Red Wing fan. See, all I have to do is hear like a half a word from... See, I'm starting to get much sharper. Now that my IBS is in remission, whatever the hell it is. Now that my kishkis aren't quite so twisted. Like 2 seconds, I know who they are. Oh, stop treating the callers like that. He has no caller. He's a jackass. Who never has anything to say. Another chronic. Anybody lets the chronics take over their show, that show is pure crap, okay? Tell you that right now. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line, 877-785-6345. Yeah, don't talk about this and don't talk about that and don't treat a little lecture from all these, these self-righteous assholes that are going to call and tell me how to live my life and how to do the show and how to take a crap and every other goddamn thing. Screw you, pal. Screw you. Take a big, fat barium enema. I think I got some left over from last week. I'll send it over to you. I don't mean the barium. I mean that. 22 till 2 at QAM.
This is 560 QAM.
Here's a guy who sucks, okay?
Okay.
Oops.
That'll have a lion in the street.
They don't want to hear that over the thing, do they? Hey, listen, I'm all worked up about that CD now that, we finally salvaged that. What the hell was I just going to play?
Treat your family to a Cuban-Italian meal that'll have them lying in the street. Thomas Rigolotto Rigatoni. Homemade macaroni made by thousands of big Jamaican women in hairnets. You'll bang your fist on the table with every demand and threat that's printed on every noodle. Like, you can't let him leave us, he's the baby Jesus. Or, life ain't hard with Libetard. Rigolotto Rigatoni won't stick to the pot, so cleanup is easy. No mas, Tomas. Don't be a front-running pony. Give him Rigolotto Rigatoni.
See, that's why I had like an aversion of really playing that, of opening the pot. It's 18 till 2 at 560 WQAM. Don't talk about this. Don't talk about that. Sir, you are what's wrong with this town. You and people of your ilk. Old yentas. Old frustrated yentas. Those of us who are into what's going on at the Macarena, we're having a great time. We're pissed off and fired up. We're excited. We're enthusiastic, which I know you can't stand. And you're too stupid to understand anything besides what you already know. That's the problem with people like you. One-dimensional, narrow-minded jackass. Fort Lauderdale, hello.
Yes, good afternoon, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how are you?
Okay.
Two things. You were complaining last week
Can
about
barely hear you.
calls, and I tried for like 2 hours and got nothing but busy signal.
Yeah.
And the second thing, you ever have any banking trouble? I've had a situation where like $1,200 of bogus charges were posted to my bank account, and now I got like a month and a half before they're going to clear it up.
Yeah.
I'm in limbo over this.
How can they wait a month and a half?
They tell me it takes 45 days to investigate it.
It sounds to me like you could use a good lawyer is what it sounds like. 5670560. Have I ever had any banking problems?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Where are we going? Let's go to Coral Springs. Hello.
Hi, Neil. This
Yes,
is,
sir.
Anthony, Coral Springs.
Yes, Anthony.
I was wondering, this is the first time I've called you, and this is about the fourth time I've listened to the show, and I think your show is amazing. I really love your parody songs, and I was wondering, how would I go about trying to get, because I write parody songs myself, how would I try to go about getting, my stuff to you for you to listen to?
You can send it to George.
Oh, yeah?
He'll give you the address.
Does he have an address? Do you have an address?
No,
he'll give
he
it
lives
to
in a
us.
pup den. Yeah, no, hang on a second. He'll give you the address, okay?
All right, thank you.
Hang on. Take the guy on 5. Take his address. Maybe he's got some good stuff, some good Schmidt. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. He's got an address, but he can't tell you because he's an illegal alien. If they find him, they'll deport him. Here's Miami. Hello. Miami.
Yes, hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to ask you a question, Neil.
You want to what?
I want to ask you a question. Do you have a blow-up doll of Dan Marino at home?
No.
You don't?
Do you?
No, I don't.
So what are you talking about?
I just wanted to find out. Because I always hear you talking about Dan Marino.
No, I wasn't talking at all about Dan Marino. I said we should stop talking about Dan Marino. If you're listening, if you get the wax out of your ears, that's exactly what I said. I'm not talking about Dan Marino.
All right, then.
All right, then. Okay, bye-bye. Ask me something else. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Boy, I tell you, anybody thinks that we got an education system in this state, all they got to do is listen to the show for a couple hours any day of the week. Here's Sunrise. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Get ready for a big Cuban uproar. I'm sitting here listening.
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Plantation. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
I just want to let you know, I'm a first-time caller. You're the only talk show host in this town who makes any sense. You're a wonderful host. You have a wonderful show. And all I have to say to all these idiot Cubans out there, you're a bunch of...
567-0560. See, you won't listen to me. You will not listen to me. I'm not talking about Cubans. I'm not interested in illegal alien. I'm not interested. We're not talking about that. I've gone out of my way to stress we're not talking about it, and yet some of you just can't stop. I won't do it. I will absolutely not do it. Period. Davey, hello.
This is great stuff. I wish I had a tape of this.
Yeah, me too.
Game Show Network. Favorite host, Match Game 73, Gene Rayburn.
Gene Rayburn, of course.
I loved him, and now, of course,
he's now he's dead.
Right, rest in peace.
Yeah.
The other one was Alan Ludden, who was hopping around.
Alan Ludden's dead.
Right. Well, they're all
of course,
dead.
was married to that dyke Betty White.
Right.
No, you know my
She's
late...
not a dyke.
Huh?
She's not a dyke.
Oh yeah, sure.
Well.
Let me just tell you one thing.
Yes.
My friend Bill Calder used to work with Alan Ludden in Boston many years ago.
Of course.
And trust me when I tell you, that marriage was not for real.
He was a beard. He was her beard.
It was the other way around. Yeah, there was both ways.
Yes, the best way to be to drink lots of, not all kidding aside, I had it. It's horrible. Just drink lots of water. I know that sounds simple, but it does.
I already do drink lots of water. I drink bathtubs full of water.
You're staying away from the caffeine, right?
Yeah. Okay, you're right. Excellent point. Caffeine is killer.
It does.
All the diet sodas that I was drinking in here, man, with the caffeine in it, no more.
The worst.
George brings any more of those Diet Pepsis in here, he's going to get shot.
Go for, if you have to have it, do a caffeine-free Diet Coke if you can stand it. Otherwise, just go with the water.
What do you mean if I can stand it? There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I'm saying some people don't like the dark colas. You know.
Yeah. How about Diet Right? None of the Diet Rights have got caffeine.
Okay.
Diet Right is good.
I don't.
It's good for you.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take your word. But
after
I just
the
know
first 400 gallons.
When I dumped, it would be really bad because it would hit you at the wrong time, like at a stadium or a concert.
Yeah.
Oh God,
right.
It's the worst.
Radio show.
Oh, you got right in the middle of your radio show 3 or 4 times, right?
It's the worst.
Well, I'm making a big comeback.
Water and no caffeine.
I'm the man that took the BS out of IBS.
Right.
Have a great day.
Water and no caffeine.
See ya.
Fine. Bye.
Bye-bye.
So what do you say about water and no caffeine?
Something like that. 567-0560, pound 560. No, seriously, the improvement I've made, and of course a lot of it is psychological, and when you have those tests and you find out that you don't have some 80-pound tumor inside or anything else, when you're as clean as a whistle, that kind of helps too. That's the beginning. And then the process goes on and you start changing your diet. And like I keep threatening to bring that book in tomorrow, which I think I will. Oh, not another diet book. Oh, let somebody call and tell me not to talk about that too while we're at it. There he goes again. Hockey, diet books, all that crap. Faggery. Yeah, is there anything else going on? No. Nothing else going on here, except, of course... Yeah. See, a lot of these people, they're reveling in it. You want to know why? Because it's like the OJ thing. It's like a substitute life for them. It's something to keep them occupied, to fill that void, that vacuum. Here's Fort Myers. Hello.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, the guy was trying to tell you, man, nobody cares about hockey, basically. Hockey could drop off the face of the earth and who'd miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the blowholes are...
Yeah, blow this. Redneck. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. I do. And I've been talking about it for a long time, and I'll continue talking about it. Not that much, but when I'm in the mood, when there's something going on. And I don't listen to any jackasses calling this show and tell me what I should talk about. And in addition to which, sir, if I'm talking about stuff you don't care about, how come you're listening over there in Fort Myers? Since we don't talk about anything that has to do with your life over there, such as it is. Why would that be? See, I'm onto this. I've been doing this for 500 years. I'm well onto this, and that is the people that call and most strenuously give you a song and a dance about you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. They would never turn it off. They listen every goddamn day, 4 hours a day. And the day that I dance out of here for the last final time, which isn't that far away, by the way, but the day that happens, they're going to go, what do we do now? Yeah. They're going to join that guy up on the roof. It's 11 till 2 at QAM.
This is 560 QAM. Only one South Florida radio station has the hammer, and you're listening to it. At Goldberg, weekday afternoons at 2. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
What's this obsession with hokey?
Yeah, you know something? I think they're right. I think from this moment forward, because you can't force feed the audience. From this moment forward, we're not going to mention the H word on this show again.
Yuskevich held the puck a little bit, hoping for him to go down because he wanted to go upstairs the way he did the other night against Stalenkov. But Kluche held his ground pretty well. Cross at the left point. Shot! Corey Cross! The former Lightning comes back to strike twice here in Tampa Bay!
Like I said, not mentioning that hockey word, I just said it. 7-4-2. Don't do this and don't do that and don't say this and don't, you know what? That's my comment back to you, okay? How about another one? Got a lot of practice last week. Here's Boca. Hello.
Yeah, Neil, I don't hear anything about Big Al and you at the Pompano track there. Did you go anymore, or what's the deal there?
What does that mean?
I was just wondering. You used to talk. You go on Thursdays or something. I was going to go and hang out with you guys.
Yeah, go there on Thursday, okay? I won't be there, but go there on Thursday. Another guy with no life. You know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
No life. Here's a lady in Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Neil, I want to ask you a question. What do you think about this
You wanna
little
what?
boy, Elian Gonzalez?
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Here's a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Hey Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
Hey, first of all, the thing about the hockey, or the H word, sorry. Obviously, those guys have never gone to a game because if you go to an actual hockey game, you see how exciting it is. It's much more exciting than
You know
basketball.
something, sir? These people who fancy themselves sports fans, these assholes that call this radio station 20 hours a day and think they know something about sports, there's more action in the first 5 minutes of a mediocre hockey game than there is an entire football game, than there is in 10 baseball games put together, and these people are too stupid to learn anything new. I feel sorry, not for them, but for me, that I live in such a wilderness here.
And they don't know. It's just everything has got to be on TV for them. The thing is, hockey's really not a TV game. You actually got to be there, and it's just great to actually go to a game.
Sir, I disagree with you. I mean, it is better in person, but there's nothing wrong watching a good game on TV.
Well, and the other thing that I wanted to call you and let you know, I don't know if anybody already did, is that there's a Godfathers in Davie.
Right, got it.
You got it?
Next to Hess.
All right, and one more request. Can I get that little old lady? Who the hell are you?
Have a great day, pal.
Thanks.
Oh, God. See, now I got to go through this. Why do I do that? Why do I even, it's not on that bank, you idiot. It's on bank 3. Where the hell is it?
Who the hell are you?
There you go. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Here's Miami. Hello.
Good evening. Good afternoon, Neil.
Good morning.
Yeah, whatever it is. I don't know what time it is. Number one, that last caller from Fort Myers, he wasn't a redneck. He was a spook.
Was he a spook?
He was a spook, and that's why he don't like hockey. It
yeah. Spooks don't like hockey. Well, guess what? I don't like basketball either.
I don't like
pro basketball because they're all a bunch of spooks. I'm not into that. And that's fine. They can have their thing. I got my thing. Stay the hell away from our hockey.
Exactly. Why do they have to come in and infringe on our...
What's wrong with having a nice sport with a whole bunch of nice white people together hanging out?
You like hockey?
That's right.
Cool. He likes basketball? That's cool for
That'd
him.
be cool,
Why's
right.
he gotta jump in and
of course, basketball, that takes a lot of brains
you.
to stick a ball in a hole like that. You know, that takes a lot of brains.
Right.
And
you know what he could do?
What is that thing that they have to keep dribbling the ball all the time? You know, can't they just run up and down the court? They keep dribbling it, you know, like maybe the way they do that when they eat
these
too.
white girls are all going after these basketball players?
Yeah.
They dribble before they shoot.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is.
That's the rumor I'm hearing.
One more thing, Neil.
Yeah.
Take that Elian and shoot.
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Here's a mobile in Hialeah. Hello.
Bill Cullen, God.
Bill Cullen, great. Excellent choice.
Neil,
Yes, sir.
you are the best. You are the best personality in the world.
Yeah, okay, Woody. And you're the biggest asshole in the world, which covers a lot of territory because we've had several today. You can suck around all you want. You're still a piece of walking smegma. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in North Miami. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir?
How you doing, Neil?
Okay.
Yeah, long-time listener, first-time caller. I'm glad I got through. I try to sit here and listen to your show as much as I can, but it's kind of hard when you're afraid to answer some of the questions that come through, and it's such an easy cop-out when you just click the line.
Questions
and,
like what?
Yeah. Huh?
Questions like what?
You don't give people a chance to talk about anything. You don't like it, and I like your show.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Then why do you like
Why
the show?
Why?
Why do you like the show?
Because you really talk about things, and you make a lot of callers.
Sir, did you hear what I said before? I'm not interested in critiques. If you like the show, fine. If not, see you later. Not interested. I'm going to do the show the way I've been doing it for 600 years, only even better now than ever. Now that I got some energy back. When somebody has something worthwhile to say, I will listen. Whether I agree, disagree, that's not a debatable point. And if somebody is terminal, ponderous, wants to be a jackass, they're gone. That's the way it works, sir. Did you have anything to say?
No.
No. All you want to do is call up and tell me. And by the way, sir, what time is your show on? So we can listen and call you up and tell you how to do your show. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Question. How come if you don't like the sport of hockey, they get bombarded? Why is that?
What?
How come?
What does that mean?
Well, if somebody likes football or somebody likes basketball and they don't love hockey, they're a no good, you know what.
Who said
you
that?
Hang up on them,
Who
you don't
said,
give
who
them any...
said that?
Well, that's
I'm talking about people that are telling me that I shouldn't be talking about it.
Well, no, you do a great show. Nobody needs to critique your show,
Right.
but I mean, if everybody starts going to the hockey games in the playoff, that means they're